going to have a great day today.
Now, Amy Marks scores Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Let's take it from the top.
Hello, good morning. Happy Thursday. It's a brisk Thursday morning. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks scores with you. And because it's Thursday, we can all celebrate because Thursday, Ranj, is the Friday of the weekdays.
Says who?
Well, I think it's just pretty much understood.
Oh.
So you can all sit back and relax, listen to our entire show. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. You can listen to us on 98.7 FM on the radio. If you're on 1120 AM, you can check out the FM signal. You can also listen on the Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app, the KMOX page right there. You can take us with you wherever you go. You can rewind live radio. And you can also download the Chris and Amy Show podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And oh, by the way, on that Odyssey app, you can leave us a voice message. There is a little microphone icon right there on that KMOX page. You can leave us a voice message. We'd love to hear from you. You can also follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everybody will be talking about.
It's cold outside. The coldest morning of the year so far. I had 0 degrees when I woke up this morning with the wind chill -14.
I'm taking bets it'll be the coldest day all year.
That's a pretty good bet.
Through the rest of the year. Through December even. Also, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, comparing the Trump administration to the Third Reich in a budget address. We will hear some of those comments.
And Missouri men's basketball defeats Alabama. The Crimson Tide 110-98 last night. Mizzou doing pretty well for itself as it nears the tournament. And in the Four Nations face-off, here it is. Tonight's the game. United States takes on Canada for the championship. That's tonight, so keep an eye on those Kachuk brothers.
Hockey.
Man.
There's a lot of people in this office with USA jerseys on.
I've seen
at least 2.
I've never seen.
Frank's got one on. Frank Ladd has one.
Yeah.
Carl, the sound guy.
Fred Bottomer has a blues
Carl,
sweater.
the music man. Yeah, he does. He has a blues sweater on.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, I've never seen so many USA jerseys, and that's 2, which is true. I've never seen more than 1. I don't know that I've ever seen 1 in this building, but we've got 2.
What, a blues jersey?
A USA
Oh, a U.S.
sweater.
jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people are excited about tonight.
And
is it bad that I'm not? Maybe I'll get more excited closer to game time.
Yeah, it's bad.
Is it?
Yeah. I think it actually implies a lot of really unsavory things about you and your character.
It does?
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe.
Uh-huh.
Let me think about this.
I think it's bad. But I did read Jason Gay in the Wall Street Journal wrote about the hockey game, the first one that saw Canada and the United States face off, and the booing of the national anthems. And all the players were very diplomatic when they were asked about the booing. I think it was Brad Marchand said we should probably respect the national anthem. Sidney Crosby said, I think it's really just about the 2 teams and being on the ice. But you have to admit that the whole atmosphere was absolutely electric, not in small part because of the booing of the national anthem. Now, remember, that game was in the Bell Center in Montreal, which is one of the most exciting buildings you'll ever have an opportunity to watch a hockey game in. And tonight's game is at TD Garden in Boston, which is also not known for being quiet or calm. It's going to be insane.
I think the reason I can't get into it is because it's a tournament that started like 4 days ago. You know what I mean? It's not, and there are 4 teams in it. It's not, for me, there was no build up to it. It's like, oh, here's this tournament and it's over in a second.
I don't think there was build up for anybody. I think the whole thing took people by surprise. I think that's kind of what made it so fun, is that it's a tournament that didn't exist. It was literally made up to replace the All-Star game. Technically, it's an exhibition, and it suddenly felt like the Miracle on Ice. Like, it felt like an Olympic tournament, an Olympic game, but even more so because you had the very best of the best playing. So, yeah, hockey is still hockey. no, it's never going to challenge basketball or Major League Baseball or the NFL. But it's fun. Like I told Matt Pauley, let us have this. Let us have this one thing.
Well, here's
where
what
we're
I'm,
in the news for the first time, or for a short while.
Yeah, what I think will happen for me is kind of what happened with the World Baseball Classic, because the last one that happened,
Mhm.
and there was the game with the U.S. and it was just electric. And I have always sort of been anti World Baseball Classic because I don't like the idea of taking players from my team that I'm hoping get ready for the regular season, because there's nothing more important to me than the baseball regular season, right? There's nothing more important than what happens with Cardinals players to get them ready for the regular season. And it almost feels like you have them step into this tournament. They're playing at a much higher pace than they would otherwise because they're really trying to win. It doesn't have the slow, deliberate pace of a spring training game. And I think it opens you up to injury a little bit more. You know, the Edwin Diaz thing.
Yeah.
So I generally don't like it. However, there was a little stretch there where those games were really, really fun.
Yeah.
And so while I didn't care so much, and I still don't, I don't really, World Baseball Classic isn't really a thing that's on my radar usually. But for a couple of games anyway, that was a lot of fun. And I think that's what will happen tonight.
No, it was just fun, and it took everyone by surprise. And I think an impromptu game like that, where you have all-stars throwing haymakers, is going to generate that kind of buzz. And it made it fun because nobody ever talks about hockey. It's the forgotten major sport. Hey, Ronj, I know also locally, speaking of games,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on at the sheriff's the sheriff's
Dude.
office? An aldermanic candidate whose law enforcement background, Tony Kirchner, it's a key part of his campaign. He was fired last month from the St. Louis Sheriff's Office after some bizarre circumstances, including he had to roll a pair of golden dice to see if he would keep his job or not when he requested leave.
So this is a story from St. Louis Magazine, and you're talking about Tony Kirchner,
Yep.
Again, who is challenging Ann Schweitzer for a seat on the Board of Aldermen. That back on January 22nd, he said he came to talk to Alfred Montgomery, who is the current sheriff who took over for Sheriff Betts. And he says that the sheriff, Montgomery, as he was coming in to ask for leave or to talk about taking a leave because his father had just died, he was focusing on the campaign. So there had been previous conversations, allegedly, that they were going to give him some leave time.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently in this meeting, according to this report, that it became then a game of chance, that he thought, oh, I'm getting this leave, I'm going to talk to him about it. And allegedly the sheriff said, well, I'll tell you what, we'll roll these dice. And if you roll a 7, you can take your leave. If you don't, you have to resign. This is according to Kirchner.
Yeah.
So this person goes in because his father dies and he's working on a campaign. And again, I don't know the dynamics of the relationship here. I don't know what kind of person Tony Kirchner is. I know nothing about him. I know nothing about Sheriff Montgomery.
You don't keep up with the sheriff's office?
Not usually. Not unless I'm in trouble, which I haven't been yet. This is just so funny to me, the idea that even if it was jokingly, the sheriff said, hey, if you roll a 7, you can have your leave. Otherwise, you have to quit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if that is a joke. If it is serious, while it's funny to me, it's kind of not funny.
So, and on Tuesday, Sheriff Montgomery told St. Louis Magazine, quote, no, when asked if dice were involved in the dismissal of Tony Kirchner. And he did say that the previous sheriff, Vernon Betts, left behind a pair of golden dice that they found while they were cleaning up.
Well, Kirchner...
Golden dice.
Yeah, so Kirchner did share with St. Louis Magazine audio of the interaction. So he must have recorded it, I'm assuming. And in the audio, you can hear him say, you can hear the sheriff say, you got 2 tries, roll a 7, and we'll go with whatever you want. And then I guess he did roll a 7. But it's just, I don't know what this is. Maybe there's some sort of issue between the two of them, but it seems like if all of this is legit, that seems really highly unprofessional. But it does make me think, Amy, that maybe we should leave more important matters to chance, just generally speaking.
Like maybe bring the golden dice to the Board of Aldermen and see how do you spend the Rams settlement money.
Why didn't they think of that?
I don't know.
How about this?
It seems silly now, doesn't it?
Here we go. You ready? We've got the golden dice.
Yeah.
If we roll a 7, all that money goes to build the second arch.
Yeah. I can't tell which part of the story is more amazing. If the sheriff's office was using this pair of golden dice, also makes you wonder, like, why were they there in the first place?
They belonged to the previous sheriff.
Well, that's what I mean.
That he left them.
Why did he have them? Anyway.
People have weird stuff in their desks.
Is it more impressive that he rolled a 7? Can you imagine the pressure? The fact that he rolled a 7.
Well, what are the odds of rolling a 7?
I hated these odds questions in math. So no, I don't know. I can't tell you. That's it.
Okay.
That was the end of my story.
The odds of rolling a 7 on a pair of standard 6-sided dice is 1 in 6.
That seems high.
No. I mean, you can get a 5 and a 2. You can get a 3 and a 4.
Makes sense, but you
can get a 6 and a 1.
My guess was 1 in 1,000.
1 in 1,000.
There's 6 sides.
No, that's the Powerball. You have a 1 in 1,000 chance of winning the Powerball.
Well, now I'm way less impressed. I thought the most impressive thing about this story was that he rolled a 7. 1 in 6.
It is pretty impressive.
Yeah, but 1 in 6 is nothing compared to what I thought it was going into this moment.
Let's take a pair of dice into Steve's office when he's back from vacation.
Well, I think we should do it now. If we can find a pair of dice during this show, we should start rolling and see how long it takes us to roll a 7.
I bet you could do it on the second try. We'll find
some
dice.
All right, we're going to find some dice.
That's Amy Mark's score.
Dice.
Let us know. And you should text us at 314-436.
Do you think it's 1 in 6?
No, I know what the odds are right here. The odds are the odds. 314-436-7900. Tell us what we should roll dice on. What important matter should we solve with a dice roll? Let us know. 314-436-7900. Text us, or you leave us a voice message from the Odyssey app. There's the button that says send a message from the KMOX page. Do it. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Here, Matt's reports from Redbird Camp, mornings and afternoons, and on Sports Open Line, on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
From the very first phone call till they wipe down your brand new bathroom, it's going to be nothing but courtesy, professionalism with Michael's Baths. Hey guys, Dave Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. So they are completely local. They only do bathroom remodeling. They're sort of like Bath Fitter and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and Jacuzzi, except they're 30 to 50% less than they are. They have total professional craftspeople who are putting in your bathrooms. If you are a veteran, you can get one for absolutely free. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Discover true luxury at Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, Genesis of St. Charles. Thank you for making us the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2024. True luxury isn't just built, it's engineered with precision and passion. Explore amazing cutting-edge technology, redefined elegance, and exhilarating performance in the new 25 GV80. A new level of luxury awaits you at Genesis of St. Charles. Visit us in-store or shop genesisofstcharles.com. Based on GMA sales records.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars, Lose the Weight and Stop Smoking. Early bird specials, $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th, Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Church in St. Louis, Fairview Heights, Fairview Heights. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m.
Do you ever wonder if you've saved enough to retire? Well, you can discover how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these classes at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing your Social Security income, paying for health care, everything. And there's no cost. It's free. They ask that you bring 3 canned goods for a St. Louis crisis nursery. There are a handful of openings for classes this month and next. So register by calling 314-947-2012. 314-947-2012. It's the Sue Thomas number.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
Breaking news, entertaining conversation, and live sports. This is KMOX.
My oath is to the Constitution of our state and of our country. We don't have kings in America, and I don't intend to bend the knee to one.
That's Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker in his budget address in the state of Illinois. And talking about clearly the current situation with the new president, Donald Trump, who is in office again and has been there for today is a month. It's been a month today that Donald Trump has resumed office for the second time. And Pritzker even went a little further in the way he described the current situation.
If you think I'm overreacting and sounding the alarm too soon, consider this. It took the Nazis 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 8 hours, and 40 minutes to dismantle a constitutional republic. And all I'm saying is that when the 5-alarm fire starts to burn, every good person better be ready to man a post with a bucket of water if you want to stop it from raging out of control.
Yes, the implication there being that he is comparing the Trump administration to Hitler, the rise of the Third Reich, and also anybody who voted for Trump or, perhaps Republicans in general as Nazi-esque, if not Nazi adjacent. And listen, this is just such a lazy, tired trope when it comes to politicians, specifically Democratic politicians, going back to even Harry Truman calling Thomas Dewey, a fascist and a Nazi. Barry Goldwater was called a Nazi. And this, again, is something that we have seen over and over again with Donald Trump. And let me be clear, you can be very concerned about Donald Trump's disregard and disrespect for the rule of law, for the institution, for bulldozing his agenda through and over constitutional norms and Congress just lying down and letting him do it without comparing him to Hitler. Because you can be really bad before you're Hitler. And either J.B. Pritzker is ignorant of history and literally can't think of any other leader with autocratic or dictatorial tendencies, or he thinks the people are too stupid to recognize any other leader with autocratic or dictatorial tendencies, so he falls right back down to Hitler and Nazi Germany. And again, saying that Trump isn't Hitler is not a defense of Trump. But I do think it trivializes Nazism. It trivializes the rise of the Third Reich, the Holocaust, to keep comparing Donald Trump to Nazi Germany and to Hitler. And I think J.B. Pritzker was wrong and intellectually lazy to do so.
So I think the direct comparison to Hitler is probably not apt here. I think you can have grave concerns about how he operates, how the people that he's put around him are choosing to operate. And it's really hard to make the case against the idea that he wants to be all powerful when the White House official account yesterday tweets out a photo which appears to be AI generated, and it's Donald Trump in a crown, wearing a crown, and it says Trump, and it says, "Long live the king." And then the White House tweeted along with it, and this is in reference to the New York, if people have not been paying attention in New York, they implemented a congestion pricing because they have too much traffic in Manhattan, so they were charging people to come over there, people who don't live there. So it was, and apparently was pretty popular with people who live there because they're tired of the traffic. Anyway, Donald Trump sort of put his thumb on the scale to help get rid of that congestion pricing. And so the New York Department of Transportation has rescinded it, at least for now. Anyway, the White House tweeted that photo, and they write with it, "Congestion pricing is dead." That's in all caps. "Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king, President Donald J. Trump." Okay, look, maybe he's joking. Maybe he's trolling. He probably is. Trolling, joking, I shouldn't say joking because it's okay for a president to joke, but trolling like this, that's not okay for a president.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just not, because if Joe Biden did this, if you voted for Donald Trump and you like him, and Joe Biden had done this, or Barack Obama had done this, you would lose your mind. I guarantee it.
That's what you point out. Point out the disrespect, the disregard, the error, whatever you want to say about Donald Trump. And you can even say, like, look at, these are some autocratic statements. These are some autocratic tendencies he's making. We don't have a king. There you go. There's the story. But to say we don't have a king and this is how Hitler came to power, like I said, is intellectually lazy. And it actually does more harm than good, because now everyone is going, whoa, are you calling me a Nazi? Whoa, are you calling me this? And it makes people resentful and defensive instead of actually making an intellectually cogent argument to why what Donald Trump is doing wrong and does not follow the rule of law. I mean, real fascistic tendencies. How about Joe Kennedy? FDR hated Joe Kennedy. Winston Churchill hated Joe Kennedy because Joe Kennedy, JFK's dad, wanted to concede to Hitler and make America momentarily fascist because that would be more effective during World War II. We can talk about fascism and Joe Kennedy, but when you're looking at Donald Trump, point out autocratic tendencies, make a coherent argument, and stop being intellectually lazy with the Hitler comparisons.
We have a lot coming up on the show today. Norbert Butz, the actor and singer, will join us. Bernie Miklasz, Ness Sandoval from Slew, and also actor Thomas Ian Nicholas. Remember American Pie and Rookie of the Year? He's also a musician. He'll be with us in studio. But next, we're going to get Major Garrett's thoughts. He joins the show. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis homeowners, it seems as if everyone who wanted to sell their home last year is finally starting to take action now. If you're ready to sell your home, I strongly recommend you call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Why should Gloria be your first call? Well, ask the O'Neill family. Gloria sold their home for $30,000 over list price. Or the Krupp family. Gloria sold their home in one weekend for $25,000 over their asking price. Or maybe ask the Cox family, who received multiple offers and sold for $20,000 over list price, which, by the way, was the highest sales price for that subdivision ever. you get my point. Not every home sells for over list price, but one thing is for sure, Gloria Lou will get you the most money possible for your home, and she'll guarantee your agreed upon price. Call Gloria at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Are you looking for a place to call home without all the maintenance of a home? Check out the Towns of Linneman. New townhomes by Lombardo Homes, located in St. Peters. These luxury new construction townhomes are located on the south side of Route 364-94, east of Harvester Road, and offer floor plans featuring 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a loft, and 2-car attached garages. The multi-million-dollar amenity package includes a clubhouse, pool, pickleball courts, dog park, children's play area, and walking trails. Visit lombardohomes.com for more information.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies, 8 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. A computerized system that calls balls and strikes will be tested during Major League Baseball spring training exhibition games starting today. CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula has more.
Baseball has been experimenting with the system in the minor leagues over the past 4 years. Bridget Binsbacher is executive director of spring training's Arizona Cactus League.
I think it makes sense for them to use spring training as an opportunity to test this system and see how it works.
The so-called automated ball strike system could start as early as the 2026 Major League Baseball season to help MLB home plate umpires, but not replace them. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Stay with us for the news at 11 o'clock. Missouri's flu cases continue to rise. We'll give you the numbers. Checking the roads right now, we do have a stall reported eastbound 370 right before you get to St. Louis Mills. It's in the right-hand lane. That's kind of a dangerous area, so use caution there. The forecast for today, mostly sunny, very cold, a high near 23, clear and cold tonight with a low near 0. Right now, we have sunny skies, 8 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Waking up from a coma years ago had me feeling stuck. Don't get stuck in a winter freeze with a broken garage door. For repairs or replacement, call your local experts at Renner.
RENNER, RENNER. College sports hold a mythic place in American culture. But sometimes the drama off the court overshadows the action on it.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything, including some of the biggest scandals in college sports. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Choose from select Superstar Premium, Extreme, or Platinum batteries at O'Reilly Auto Parts and get up to a $15 gift card after rebate. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstar batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9-all-zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
News Radio KMOX, the home of the Cardinals.
Now, Major News with Major Garrett with Chris and Amy on KMOX.
It's Thursday. It is 10:34 here in the Midwest, and it is time for our regular weekly visit with our guy, Major Garrett. He is the chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. His book is The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. You should also check out his podcast, Agent of Betrayal. And we've got Major Garrett with us this morning. How's it going, Major?
Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you. We were just discussing Governor J.B. Pritzker's comments about Donald Trump in Illinois yesterday, basically comparing him to the Third Reich and the administration to the Third Reich. And then we also had Donald Trump's tweet, or at least from the White House government account on Twitter, referring to him as a king. And it appears to be a joke. So,
I saw that.
I mean, it's a joke, I think.
In addition, with his Napoleonic quote,
he
who saves his country
Saves
breaks
the
no
nation,
law.
breaks no law.
Yeah.
Correct.
And anyway, in the photo, Trump is wearing a crown, and this came from the official White House account. So what are people making of all of this?
There is, I would say, concern, confusion, and exhaustion, which are not unfamiliar words dealing with the first month of the Trump administration 2.0. What does he mean? And is this all just elaborate triggering and trolling and provoking the most hyperactive reactions from those who oppose President Trump? There is a body of evidence to suggest that. And yet, history will record that in the last week, just in the last week, several things have happened. On social media, the official White House account portrayed the president as a king. Quick Google search will tell you that America's relationship with the king is somewhat hostile. Second, the president signed an executive order that said the president and the attorney general and those two officials of the federal government only speak for independent agencies established by Congress, signed into law by previous presidents to create their independence from the executive branch. That now, according to this executive order, is sought to be erased. Okay? That's an exertion of executive power unlike any we've seen in relationship to these independent agencies. And you mentioned, Amy, that quasi-Napoleonic quote. No one really knows where it came from. It's often attributed to Napoleon. No one's really sure if he said it. But Napoleon, as Emperor of France, is close enough to someone who says or asserts, I cannot be held accountable if I, in my mind, am trying to save the country. So you put those three things together and you say, is this trolling? Or is this intent masquerading as trolling? And that's what the next 6 to 12 months in this country are going to be about. Is he trolling? Is he just playing fun? Or is he trying to fundamentally reorient what the powers of the executive branch are, remove powers understood to be existent and countervailing in the judicial branch, ignoring constitutionally demarcated powers in the legislative branch, specifically spending, because he's trying to impound or erase spending that Congress has already appropriated? Are we seeing, not trolling, not sort of late night comedy, not like ha ha, nudge, nudge, see what I mean, joking around, but actual fundamental, intentional rewriting of our entire understanding of what the presidency is and its relationship to the populace and our democracy and our constitutional republic?
Yeah, Major. And right before you came on, this is why I was frustrated with J.B. Pritzker's comments comparing Trump's administration to the rise of the Third Reich, which I said were intellectually lazy because what Trump is doing warrants extreme criticism. You can talk about autocratic tendencies or fascination with dictatorial proclivities, like having big parades and marches and being the strong man. And why is he obsessed with these guys? And he can be really bad and break a lot of norms and disrespect constitutional processes and institutions without being Hitler. And as soon as you bring up the Hitler thing, it turns everybody against any real arguments against what Donald Trump is doing and say, here we go again, comparing him to Hitler. And saying that Trump is not Hitler is not a defense of Trump.
No, we have to measure these times as they are before us. America isn't Germany of 1937, 1939. It just isn't. Its culture is different. Its orientation to its history is different. And I think you're right to use that terminology, lazy overlay of post-Weimar Republic Germany, pre-Hitler or incipient Hitler Germany is exactly that, lazy. That's not America. That's not who we are. That's not what we've been. Actually, we have our own problems. We have our own history to contend with. That's separate from the German culture and the German history, German literature, German science, and everything else. So it's a lazy overlay. And more to your point, it completely shuts down any conversation and any rational assessment, because half, at least, and maybe slightly more than half of the audience says, I've heard that before. I mean, look, some people on the left called George W. Bush a fascist. And they would love to have George W. Bush back now. I'm like, oh, so you're comfortable with mild fascists? Because you called George W. Bush a fascist. My only point is that is the allegation of last resort. You cannot use that repetitively or it loses its actual meaning and value. It played terribly for Kamala Harris. It plays terribly for most people who invoke it now. The thing that I thought that Governor Pritzker was saying yesterday that had much more potential political potency was, look, inflation looks a little sticky. I'm not blaming Trump for all of that, but it's still here. And if these tariffs go into effect, it could go higher. That's going to be a problem. That's a legit conversation, ladies and gentlemen. That's a legit conversation. And it will have political potency. Everyone at the White House knows that. And we'll see just how aggressive Trump is. His rhetoric is very aggressive on tariffs. We'll see how aggressive it is in actual implementation. That part of Governor Pritzker's speech. And remember, he's trying to make sure everyone knows he's thinking seriously about running in 2028. So he's trying to be early at the post with the sort of most cogent and critical assessment of Trump. Well, if you go down the fascist road, you're going to sound like every other worn out tire that's tried to take down Trump, and it doesn't work.
On a couple of different occasions in the last 48 hours, the president has referred to Volodymyr Zelensky as a dictator. He did it in Truth Social. He did it in an interview, and it seems like a complete shift now in policy on how the United States views Ukraine. There's been some pushback from Republicans in Congress, though. What is the latest on all of that, and what's the reaction been?
That small p pushback, very mild, very skittery down the hallways. You know, no one's gone to the Senate floor. No one's gone to a mic and given a 20-minute recitation of why, from their point of view, Trump is wrong about Ukraine and the clearly early siding with not just Russian interests, but Russian language about what this whole conflict is about. When Trump said at Mar-a-Lago that they could have stopped this war 3 years ago, what he, I think, means is just capitulate to Russia, give everything that Russia wants, and you don't get invaded. Well, guess what? That's not what sovereign nations do. That's not what sovereign nations, through their democratic process, who are orienting itself toward Europe through the EU and possible NATO membership, do. They don't capitulate to Putin. Well, Trump said basically that's how you would have avoided a war. And then once the war started, it's your fault. Now, that is ahistorical at every level. And it leaves the Ukrainians wondering, is this a peace talk or is this just a carve up? Are we just going to be carved up and the allocation of our country will be decided by Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump? Well, if so, we're not in on that. We're not going to agree to that. We can't agree to that because we would live forever under the menace of that historical invasion, how it carved us up, and the menace that would continue therein, because we would have given up just about everything. So I'm not saying, and I leave open the possibility that this is in a sort of strange, backward, intentionally clumsy Trumpian way, head fake of the Russians. I'm going to soften you up with all my rhetoric, make it sound like I'm all on your side, and then drive a hard bargain behind the scenes. I leave open that possibility, but that possibility looked more open and more viable and more possible before he called Zelensky a dictator and essentially said he better hurry up or he's not going to have a country anymore. That's the kind of words you use when you're intending to carve up a weaker sister, not someone you consider to be an ally and that you want to fortify against an invader.
And also, if it's going to be the whole strongman competition that Donald Trump's a strong man, well, Putin's seen this before now. He's already had round one with Trump. So what if Putin, who is an actual autocrat, decides, no, I'm making the calls, Mr. Trump?
Yeah, now he might, but in the strongman competition economically, there are levers that the United States has that are real. And, part of Trump's push for Greenland is a signal to Russia. There are things, energy and sanctions and Russian bank assets that Trump could be much more aggressive about. And he could discuss all those things privately and not discuss them publicly. There are levers Trump has if he wants to get tough. None of this rhetoric sounds like anything approaching that getting it tough point of view. So if Putin wants to play hardball and Trump wants to give in and get a quick deal, a quick win, and sacrifice Ukraine in the process, that's certainly possible. That's what the Ukrainians this week, more than even last week, are terrified about. History will not be kind to any American president who does that. And that quick win, if carried out on those terms, would be a shattering moment, I think, for the Trump presidency, because it would not convey strength at all. Wait a minute. Biden sends money, Ukrainians fight and die, and they beat back the Russians and repel this invasion for the better part of 3 years, fighting doggedly for every scrap of land, and Trump just gives it away? Where is that toughness? Where is that related to strength or protecting anything or anyone in Europe? So I think there's some peril here for a quick deal for Trump. And Putin thinks he might have a lot more leverage than he actually does. I am interested to see if, in fact, in private, Trump pushes some of those buttons that Putin knows only an American president can push.
Kash Patel, will he become the director of the FBI?
I think that's an almost certainty. I can't imagine a scenario where it doesn't happen. Maybe Mitch McConnell votes against him, but that's a caucus of one, and it's interesting, but only that. Small I, interesting. Just, okay, there's one dissenting vote. Where's everybody else?
I know Susan Collins has said she will vote no.
Okay, it's all right. That's two. All right.
Yeah.
Again, until you get to critical mass, until you get to four, because three is interesting, but Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, check with the Ukrainians. They're paying very close attention to what he's saying because there were three against, and J.D. Vance cast a tie-breaking vote. Until Mitch McConnell or Susan Collins get out of their comfort zone and start actually pulling other Republicans with them to say, no, this is not going to happen, and we are the ones responsible for blocking you, Mr. President. Until that moment happens, it's still mostly complicit. Early days with President Trump.
Major Garrett, usually this time we always plug something that you're doing, and turns out you've got added duties. We're excited for you.
Yeah, so we have an hour-long politics show Monday through Friday on CBS News 24/7. It's called America Decides. It will have a new name soon. I'm now the permanent anchor of that show. I had been anchoring it off and on along with Robert Costa, Nancy Cordes, my good friend Ed O'Keefe, Weijia Jiang. I'm now the permanent anchor. That's to let them do their beat work at the White House and other things and let me focus on the show and building it and evolving it. And I will only say this. When I said farewell to the takeout, I promised everyone who listens on radio, podcasts, and who watched it on CBS News 24/7, it was not dying. It was merely evolving. I'll leave it at that.
You're the best.
The man of mystery.
I love telling people I know you.
I name drop you
I name
all
drop
the time.
Major Garrett. Once a week.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
You're the best, Major.
You
Thank
are.
you.
Thank you.
Wasn't he like a college football player in the 70s or something?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you,
That
sir.
was actually Major Ogilvy, University
that's
of Alabama.
right. Wasn't there a Major Applewhite? No, that was the guy.
There was a Major Applewhite and a Major Harris too.
That's right.
Wow.
Yep. All college football players. Trust me, I keep track of the majors.
Yeah. Well, you're my favorite major.
Best favorite major on earth.
That's right.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys.
Major Garrett with us, Chris and Amy show on KMOX.
What was my first impression when I walked in? Wow.
It makes me feel like I matter. They've just done everything in their power to make me feel welcome and cared for.
I feel like I can go forward because now I'm in good health.
She wasn't looking at her watch. She wasn't rushing things. She took the time to understand what I was going through.
Ready to upgrade your primary care in St. Louis? Visit archwellhealth.com or call 314-668-2173 to join now during Medicare open enrollment.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Hear my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening in Redbirds Camp with the Cardinal Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Marcia talks about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, my name's Marcia, and I had a great experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. My sister, who lives in Logan, had them do her kitchen, and after I saw the quality, I realized it was exactly what I wanted. I guess one of the things I really liked is that when I came back, I just couldn't believe how it totally changed, and everything was all cleaned up, and it looked so great. All my neighbors want to come over and see it. I had a lot of unique features that I wanted as far as the fixtures go, and Dave was able to find those things, and that made all the difference. It was a great experience, and I'm glad I did it, and I would recommend it to anyone.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This month we are focusing on National Cancer Prevention Month. And joining us is Dr. Graham Kolditz, Associate Director at Siteman Cancer Center.
Working to increase access to screening and early detection across the region and across the spectrum from prevention to detection and treatment.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
I'm Dave Glover. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
So, the Four Nations face-off game that we were talking about, the USA
tonight
versus Canada and TD Garden. Now, remember how these Super Bowl tickets for this past Super Bowl were 50% than last year?
Right.
Ticket prices were quote-unquote
still expensive.
down,
Still a couple thousand.
Under $4,000. Yeah. Guess what? These tickets for this game tonight rivaling the Super Bowl. Tickets at TD Garden, many of them ranging from $2,000 to $4,000 for this game. That's crazy.
That's the highest ticket, 4,000.
I'm guessing that's the highest regular ticket. I don't believe that's like a special suite or anything, but yes, it said many of the tickets that are still available or on secondary markets, $2,000 to $4,000, which rivals some of the Super Bowl ticket prices.
I don't want to yuck the hockey yum, but I think those were the cheapest Super Bowl tickets we're talking about, right? Like they were still very expensive on the highest end. But tonight's game will be fun, I'm sure. I'll probably watch.
Did you talk to a young person, like someone in their 20s?
No, somebody said yuck my yum the other day, and I thought that's really great. I'm going to use it.
I find it foul.
You do?
It's a little off-putting.
I kind of like it. Did you ever end up going, Amy, to the thing at Midtown at the Foundry when the Banksy artwork was here about a year and a half ago, was
Thanks
it?
for calling me out, but no, I was not able to go.
Did
you go?
I did.
And?
It was fantastic.
Okay.
I would love to have a Banksy, of course, but Mark Hoppus, you know who that is? Mark Hoppus is the bassist from Blink-182, the band.
Okay.
Well, apparently he had a Banksy piece of art.
Huh.
And the piece of art had an environmental message on it. He sold it for $6.3 million at auction, and he's using the proceeds to help the victims of the LA wildfires.
That's very cool.
Would it be cool? I would love to have a Banksy. I think that would be just
What if you
awesome.
bought the one that shredded itself?
That would be the pinnacle.
Oh.
I love that.
You know what pinnacle means, right?
Yes,
Okay.
the very top.
Okay, yeah.
That would be the best.
All right.
Do you know what pinnacle means, you condescending butthole?
I'm just saying because the one that got shredded, it was tongue in cheek to prove my point that I'm surprised that the Banksy that would be the top for you is the one that destroyed itself.
Speaking of butts, when we come back, actor, singer, St. Louis and Norbert Butts joins the show. Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune into the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Live Nation lineup. Don't miss these upcoming shows. Get tickets and info at livenation.com. Daryl Hall, Stiefel Theater, March 30th. Sesanta, Primus, Pucifer, A Perfect Circle, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, May 29th. Simple Minds, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, June 5th. And Rod Stewart, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, August 15th.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 11 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In Kyiv today, retired U.S. General Keith Kellogg, President Trump's special envoy for the war in Ukraine, sat down with President Vladimir Zelensky. The meeting comes after the U.S. launched direct talks with Russia, excluding Ukraine, and after President Trump called Zelensky a dictator and someone who should not have started the war in the first place. Russia invaded Ukraine 3 years ago. A planned news conference for the two men was canceled. CBS News' Elizabeth Palmer is monitoring the situation.
When President Trump says Ukrainian President Zelensky has to move fast, it's not clear what he's talking about. I mean, Zelensky has been sidelined, so what he's supposed to do quickly, anybody's guess.
At the Conservative Political Action Conference in National Harbor, Maryland, Vice President J.D. Vance says President Trump will bring an end to the Russia-Ukraine war.
I really believe that we're on the cusp of peace in Europe for the first time in 3 years because we have leadership from the Oval Office, and we haven't had it in 4 years in this country.
U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell says he will not seek re-election.
The Kentucky Republican announced his decision on his 83rd birthday. McConnell is the longest-serving Senate party leader in U.S. history, with a decades-long tenure as a power broker who championed conservative causes before giving in to the fierce populism of President Donald Trump. McConnell, first elected in 1984, intends to serve the remainder of his term ending in January of 2027. Even though he's dealt with several medical issues in recent years. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Missouri's flu cases are soaring.
The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services says the state's flu season has reached very high levels. The latest state report shows more than 14,200 cases, a slight dip from the previous week's report. Eastern Missouri has the most flu cases, followed by Southwest Missouri. Nationwide, the level of flu cases is classified as a high severity season for all age groups. Elisa Nelson, Missouri Net.
From the KMOX business desk, a German court has ruled that iconic Birkenstock sandals are not art. The footwear company was trying to get competitors off the market and argued its sandals were copyright-protected works of applied art. The court sided with another panel's earlier ruling that it was unable to establish any artistic achievement in the wide-strap sandals with the big buckle. The Dow from Stifel this hour is down 658 points at 43,968. The S&P 500 down 52 points at 6,091. Checking the roads, we do have a report of a stall westbound 44 right before you get to Big Bend Boulevard. The right-hand lane is reportedly closed there, but not seeing any backups on the cameras at this point. Right now, we have sunny skies, 11 degrees, and we're not going to get much warmer. 23 the high for today. Clear and cold tonight, an overnight low near 0. For tomorrow, cold with plenty of sunshine, a high of 30, and then a little bit more mild tomorrow, or Saturday, mostly sunny, a high near 40. Right now, we have sunny skies, 11 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
From the Arch to the airwaves, KMOX is St. Louis.
And the 2005 Tony Award goes to Norbert Leo Butts, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Norbert Leo Butts wins his first Tony Award for his hysterical performance as Freddie Benson in the original musical comedy, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX, and it is time to go to the guest line, and we are joined, very happy to be joined, by actor, singer, and St. Louis native. He is Norbert Butts, who is performing at the Blue Strawberry tonight and tomorrow night at 7:30. Also part of the cast of A Complete Unknown. That's the movie about Bob Dylan's life, and Norbert is with us now on KMOX. Good to talk to you, Norbert. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, guys. I'm very well. A little cold, but
must be nice to be back in St. Louis, though, to experience this 0 degrees, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's everywhere right now. Yeah, it's brutally cold, and which makes me just that much more appreciative that people are actually coming out to hear me at Blue Strawberry, having a greite time.
Well, let's ask you about that performance at Blue Strawberry. What can people expect?
So I've been touring around a little bit with this show. I'm calling it Broadway My Way. And, I take people sort of on a journey through the Broadway career that I've had. I've done 11 Broadway shows now, and I've done a lot of original musicals. And so I do excerpts from a lot of the shows that I've done and kind of give a backstage peek at what it was like putting those shows together. Some inside baseball info for like theater nerds. We also do like some rock and pop covers. But yeah, it takes people kind of on a journey through my career. How a kid with, a name as terrible as mine ended up, hitting it big in New York City. A kid from South St. Louis, Missouri, right on Holly Hills Boulevard.
Well, I love it. It's memorable. You need to have a memorable name, right?
Well, you know what, Amy, there's memorable and then there's unacceptable. And I love my parents dearly, and they're both gone now. But like, somebody named a baby Norbert. Like somebody did that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't name a baby Norbert. But joking aside, I'm named after my dad and my German grandfather, and it's a family name. And I use the Leo in there because my dad and I'm not a junior.
Yeah.
So our mail and credit would get, mixed up. And so I finally started adding Leo to kind of like, nope, that's dad, that's grandpa. We literally all have the same name.
We are visiting with Norbert Butts here.
On Norbert Leo Butts.
Yes.
Not his father. He's with us here on KMOX. And I know that coming back to St. Louis, when you you go to New York, you make it big like you did. It must feel great to be here again after all of that, to know that you were from somebody from St. Louis. And we've had celebrities from this area. We talk a lot about John Hamm all the time, but it's quite an achievement, I think, to make it like that. How often do you give yourself a moment to think about that?
Sure. That's a really good question. And I felt that last night, as I was starting my set, it's a really intimate venue. There's, I don't know, a couple hundred people, maybe 150 people at the venue. And I was like, raise your hand if you are a Butts or if you are Butts adjacent. And like half the audience raised their hand.
Oh,
yeah, man. It's the great thing about a city like this is everybody is like 3 degrees of separation from everybody else. And so I had friends there from grade school. I had friends there from high school. I had, a lot of nieces and nephews, and some of my siblings came. I love that about St. Louis. It's home. You never really do leave home.
Yeah, and you started your career here, right? I know you had some of the male roles in some of the all-girls schools around town when you were younger.
I sure did.
When you were in those roles at like Nearings Hall, was it, I want to be an actor when I grow up, or was it just something you were doing for fun?
No, I got bit by the bug really young, and I thought, I really did. I had this ambition and this desire, and I think it really, I was active in theater in high school, but then I went to the Conservatory of Theater Arts at Webster University, and that's really where that fire was lit. And I started thinking, can I do this, as a viable career? And got tremendous support and a great education there. And it really always was a dream of mine. I just had no idea how I was going to do it. I'm the seventh of 11 kids. Neither of my parents were involved in anything in show business or the entertainment industry. So it was, as I said, just super, super lucky to have great teachers and great mentors.
I would think, Norbert, that for a lot of parents, it'd be very difficult to convince them to let you go do the dream you wanted to, just because it's, it is such a huge gamble. Do you think it was easier because there were 11 of you that you could sort of like, I guess I can get lost in the mix here and I can just go do whatever?
It does, I think, help to be the seventh. After a while, they are kind of whittled down. Like, do what you want. I don't know. I'm done. My God, just get out of the house. But no, my parents were super worried about me. And in fact, I remember I got accepted at Webster into the program there, and I lied to them. I pretended like I was going to Mizzou for a few weeks, like the rest of my friends from high school. It scared them. They had no point of reference as to what the life of an actor was or a singer was. And but they came around. I have to give it to my mom and dad. They really did come around and became huge fans of mine, and I could not have done it without their support.
I believe your first real break on Broadway was in the seminal musical Rent. Do you remember still, now that, you've done Broadway, you've done film, television, do you still remember that feeling of stepping onto the stage of Rent?
I sure do. And like it was yesterday. That show was so important to me, opened a lot of doors for me. I got stupid lucky, right? So, and I tell this story in the show. I moved to New York. I had, I don't know, like $3,000 in a bank account. And I'm like, I got 6 months. I got 6 months to get a job. And after like less than 6 weeks, I found myself playing the lead role in Rent on Broadway. Wow. That happened because I was busking. I'm a guitar player and a singer, obviously. And I was busking, and a friend asked me to come do an open mic. And a publicist and producer were in the audience of this very small club. And then they got me an audition with the casting director. And I ended up taking over the role after understudying that role for a while. And, my dad, who was super conservative, my dad was an ex-Marine. He was, just to call a spade, super homophobic guy, and would come to see that show, and like his heart would just melt at it. It was seeing his son up there, sort of, I don't know, it broadened his mind, and because the show deals with a lot of LGBTQ themes, and I don't know, it was a super, super sweet time, and just got ridiculously lucky and very blessed I've been, because of breaks like that,
We're visiting with Norbert Butz, who is a singer and an actor, and you appeared in this Timothée Chalamet movie about Bob Dylan. That's kind of a big deal. How did that come about, and how was it working on set?
Well, that was a super, super, fortuitous little gig I had. It just kind of fell out of the sky. I was cast in that role just a couple of weeks before filming started. And I was playing a real hero of mine. Alan Lomax is a musicologist who was a real guy and was an early mentor of Bob Dylan's. So I've been a fan of Dylan since I was a teenager. But I have to be like, that kid, that Timothée Chalamet, it was so amazingly convincing that I really don't think I met Tim. It was as if you were in the presence of a young Bob Dylan. And like Dylan, he wouldn't talk very much. But when we finished filming, he came up to me And he is the sweetest kid in the world. He's like, I grew up listening to Wicked, and I was such a fan of you. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And he goes, your name, how do you pronounce your name? And I said, well, for you, I'm going to pronounce my name Norbert, because you are Timothée and I am Norbert Boot.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, really sweet kid.
I can only go ahead.
Just had a great time working on it, being surrounded by all that music as a musician. It was just phenomenal.
Well, and to have him say that he loved singing your songs, so people know you were in the original Wicked on stage, and for him to say, I've been a fan of yours, it shows how art inspires art, and then you just keep moving forward with it. It's like the swell grows bigger. I mean, that's a younger generation now.
Yeah. Well put. Yeah, man, my girls, I did Wicked. My girls, I have 3 daughters. My 2 oldest daughters were, I think, 2 and 4 when I was doing that show. And they're 28 and 25 now. And it's wild. The whole 2 generations have gone by since I've done that show. And it's still moving people.
Yeah.
Of course, he has brought it to a whole new level. But yeah, super proud to have been a part of it.
Were you ever intimidated by a role that you got, meaning the character, the depth, the complexity that you had to play?
Sure. That happens all the time. You get handed something and you work so hard. It's a really competitive business. You work really hard to compete with a bunch of other actors, and finally you get the role and you're like, oh crap, now I got to do it. You deal with a lot of imposter syndrome. But I love it so much, and I'm still loving it. My God, in my 50s. I don't know, and it just sort of gets you through. Yeah, I mean, Complete Unknown, that's a great example. I mean, you get these jobs and then you find yourself opposite, Edward Norton and Timothy Chalamet, these incredible actors. And you're like, oh, holy God, how did I end up here? You know what I mean? I'm still that kid from South St. Louis, Missouri. And the work just pulls you through. So yeah, it happens all the time.
I assume that getting nominated for that first Tony Award was well, I mean, were you able to comprehend it at the time?
I not really. I think it was a bit of a blur, but I have to admit, I went to the first time I was nominated for a Tony. I go, and my wife and I go, and we get all dressed up and we do the red carpet, all this kind of stuff. And we sit down and they announce my name for the category on a great big stage at Radio City Music Hall. And that's when the penny kind of dropped. She said my name and I was like, that is the worst name. Like penny dropped right there on national television,
Oh no. It's too late to change the name.
Oh no.
And it was too late. And then one of my,
now you got to move forward with it, right? You got to just keep going.
Yeah, own it. You got to own it. You got to but yeah, I have been overwhelmed when I started doing plays, like you said, at Narix Hall and Corriere Zoo.
Yeah.
These different places, mostly just to try to find a girlfriend, to be totally honest with you. I thought, exponentially my chances were better if I would go into a cast with like 70 girls and 4 guys. How could I have known that these gifts that I've just been given or whatever have carried me this far? I've had a life beyond my wildest dreams and feel really grateful for it.
So you end up with all of that. You end up with multiple Tonys. You've been nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award, which is still coming up, and we wish you the best of luck. And I will be in serious trouble if I don't remind you that you were my mother's favorite actor. She loves when your version of Georgia on My Mind. I had to tell you, or she will disown me.
Yep.
And I'm not too old to be disowned.
Hey, maybe we'll do that tonight at the show in honor of your mom. I love doing that song. My youngest daughter's name is Georgia, so I dedicate it to her. But that's really sweet to hear.
Well, Norbert, we really appreciate it. It's good to have you in town. We hope that you can stop by and see us sometime too, because it was
love you guys.
Yeah, great to talk to you as always. Thank you, Norbert.
Thank you.
That is St. Louisan actor and singer Norbert Butz with us here on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Could you make $500,000 in retirement savings feel like $1 million, or $1 million feel like $2 million? You could. The key is having a comprehensive financial plan for taxes, Social Security, inflation, healthcare, income, and more. Discover how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. And they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. There's no cost, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. If you've saved $300,000 or more for retirement, register by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Early bird specials $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th. Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Sheraton, St. Louis. Fairview Heights. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Charlie Brennan with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. What can people expect when they visit one of your doctors at the Audiology Center?
Expect a friendly greeting and a waiting room stocked full of refreshments. But more importantly, a patient should expect that they're treated on an individual basis. We are not retail, and we pride ourselves on our medical model. Each hearing aid is catered towards each patient's unique needs. Expect a full history intake where we get to know you and your personal needs. And then we'll complete a full battery of tests where we can adequately diagnose your hearing health. We want you to understand those results right away. So directly following your tests, we're going to go over everything extensively. Finally, at that time, we'll develop a customized treatment plan built around you as an individual.
The Audiology Center, 3 locations in the St. Louis area, 636-441-7470. The Audiology Center, STL.com.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
KMOX for St. Louis. By St. Louis. Always about St. Louis.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice.
Amy, what did we decide that we're going to use dice to make major decisions on?
Right now, I think it's just whether or not we use the Rams settlement money to build a second arch.
Okay, so
we roll a
how many
7.
times do I need to roll a 7? Or
How
like
many
how many times
times
do I get to roll a
Did the
7?
sheriff give him 2 times? I think
The
he gave
sheriff,
him 2.
yes. So allegedly, Sheriff Montgomery here in St. Louis told his deputy that, or he's being accused of telling his deputy that he could have leave after his father died and to work on his campaign running for office if he rolled a 7. He got 2 tries to roll a 7. So apparently that's how business is done at the sheriff's office. And so we thought we could use dice here to figure out something big. So $249 million
Yep.
for the second arch.
49.
Or is it 294?
It's 294.
$294 million. So we are deciding, forget what the Board of Aldermen want to do. Forget what the mayor wants to do. I don't care. We don't care what they've decided to do with the Rams settlement money. We are right now deciding with dice.
Are those golden dice?
They're yellow dice.
They're golden dice.
So we have yellow
Okay,
dice.
And you have
okay?
2 tries to roll a 7.
Yeah.
And if he rolls a 7,
All that money is going toward a second
Second
arch. But then we have to decide where the arch goes.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
6.
Ah!
6. Are you nervous?
Come on, I'm nervous.
Okay.
No, this is it. This
All right,
is
here
our
it goes.
last time.
Final
Come on,
roll.
Come on, baby.
This is the wild card.
Okay.
That's what the sheriff said. I heard the audio. Oh, it's an 8.
Ranj, you had
It's an 8.
You had a 1 in 6. So here, give it to me. I get.
All right.
I get 2.
You get
tries.
2 rolls too. Here you go. All right. So we're deciding. Amy's going to drop the dice, and she did. I think this is the way that most decisions. Is it under the table now?
No, I found it.
Oh my God. This is a joke. What is going on here? This is I believe, since leadership a lot of times in the city cannot figure out ways to get things done, this absolutely has to be the best way to
Come
do it.
on, baby. I need a 7.
We need a 7. Okay. Oh, she just dropped them on the floor. This is it's a 6, right? Yeah. That's what I got, and then you complained about it. This is the last roll. This is how we decide if we get a second arch in St. Louis. Amy, come on. Give me a 7.
4.
Okay. So now what?
I don't know.
All right, just put all the money into a savings account and let it grow interest. That's it. There's no other option. We're screwed. We will never figure out what to do with the Rams money.
Kirchner, Tony Kirchner,
Yes.
rolled
the
a
deputy.
7. He rolled a. It's pretty unbelievable. I know he has allegedly a 1 in 6 chance.
So
allegedly, to me, it feels like here, Matt Pajeski, you roll. Just try to do it this time.
Yeah, you get 1 roll, Matt.
Yeah, one roll.
Yeah, because you're a producer, so you're a half person.
Yes, you're a half
Okay.
person.
Big money, big money. Come on, Matt. Give us a 7.
Oh, 3.
3.
Oh, my
dude.
God.
3 and a 0. That's horrible.
What in the world?
That's the worst roll possible.
I think Kirchner should go to the boats or something.
He did on his second try. So the audio
Your
is pretty
job
funny.
is on the line, and you have to roll a 7, and this guy rolls a 7. We all we had was $294 million on the line. We had a 1 in 6 chance. We blew it.
I think this whole thing is very funny. I mean, it's not funny,
not
but because
funny.
it's not me, it is funny. But because it's city, I guess you can call it leadership. It is a leadership position in the city. Behaving this way, telling a deputy that he can only have leave if he rolls dice correctly. It's silly.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
The gallows humor of, Megan Green, president of the Board of Aldermen, saying that another alderman was drunk and ending the meeting because things didn't go her way. It's a little circusy.
We need an actual drunk alderman on the floor.
You mean on the
Yeah,
on the
it's
floor,
a
like down
at
on
the
the
chamber.
floor?
No, in the chamber.
Gotcha. I
When
thought
they're-
you meant if he's drunk, he might be on the floor.
And then he's got a yak.
No,
He's got a
come on,
yak
no.
everywhere.
Listen, now you took it too far.
Don't I always?
Hey, if you have an idea for us to roll the dice for a big decision, maybe for you, like whether or not you should propose
Ooh.
or
Or
quit
break up.
or break up or quit your job,
Yeah.
we'll roll the dice for you.
Yes, let us know what you want us to roll the dice on. Let us know. 314-436-7900 to text us or drop us a voice message on the Odyssey app. Amy Marks scores Chris Ranji will check in on Cardinals spring training. Bernie's next.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Show me the number. Ready to go.
Attention homeowners. Selling your St. Louis home is a big deal. And look, I understand selecting the right agent can be a daunting task, but it is crucial. There are agents out there who will tell you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business. And that's why I recommend to my friends, trusted agent Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands that you need assurances when selling your home, not just empty promises. That's why Gloria Liu will guarantee upfront and in writing that she'll sell your home at your agreed upon price, or Gloria will buy it. You might ask, how can she make such a guarantee? Well, it's easy. Gloria Liu knows how to market and properly price your home. Plus, she has a database of thousands of exclusive buyers, many of whom are looking for a home just like yours. So take it from me, Debbie Monterey, and call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
From the very first phone call till they wipe down your brand new bathroom, it's going to be nothing but courtesy, professionalism with Michael's Baths. Hey guys, Dave Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. So they are completely local. They only do bathroom remodeling. They're sort of like Bath Fitter and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and Jacuzzi, except they're 30 to 50% less than they are. They have total professional craftspeople who are putting in your bathrooms. If you are a veteran, you can get one for absolutely free. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
At 11:30, we have sunny skies, 11 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Senator Mitch McConnell has announced he will not seek re-election next year. The announcement ends a decades-long tenure as power broker. The Kentucky Republican chose his 83rd birthday on Thursday to share his decision to retire when his current term ends in January 2027. A computerized system that calls balls and strikes being tested during Major League Baseball spring training exhibition games starting today. The automated ball strike system could be used to aid MLB home plate umpires as early as 2026. Legislators on the Missouri House Education Committee debated a bill yesterday allowing parents more control over teaching curriculum in public schools. Neosho Republican Representative Ben Bakerbill says his bill was written to increase what he calls curriculum transparency. He says he wants to give parents the power to review or reject what's taught in public schools. The forecast for today calling for sunny skies but cold, a high near 23, clear and very cold tonight. Another night where we've got a low near 0, and tomorrow still cold. Plenty of sunshine, though, a high of 30. Right now, sunny skies, 11 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
If you want to know what's happening with your St. Louis Cardinals, then you need to get the inside scoop from the Gas House Gang. Every weekday at noon, Tom Ackerman, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler, and Bernie Nicholas break down the latest Cardinals news with analysis only true experts can bring. Live on the KMOX YouTube channel and KMOX Sports on X, and replayed weeknights at 8 on KMOX. The Gas House Gang, sponsored by Salika Heating and Cooling and Game Day Men's Health on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. KMOX.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Amongst the guest instructors for the Cardinals are a couple former infielders who have had quite the impact on the organization. While Ozzie is one of the best to ever play the game, Freeze is someone who had to scrap for everything, but also had one of the biggest nights in playoffs.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
Podcast The Bernie Miklasz Show today on the free Odyssey app and follow to receive Bernie's daily take on Cardinals, Blues, or whatever else is in the news. AUDACY.
All right, it's the Chris and Amy show on KMOX. Before we visit with our guy, Bernie Miklasz, we have been offering you the opportunity to solve a problem in your life with the roll of the dice, just like the sheriff in St. Louis allegedly did with one of his employees. He threatened his job, I guess. All right, let's talk to Willie, who is with us on KMOX. How's it going, Willie?
It's pretty good. I was wondering if my girlfriend is going to leave me or not because of the way I parked my car last night.
Okay, so
All right. We'll roll the dice.
So I'll roll the dice.
Wait, let me tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened.
Sure.
It was really busy. I saw a bumper sticker on the car on a Mini Cooper that said coexist.
Yeah.
So I parked my Hummer on top of the Mini Cooper.
Okay, well, see, that's a real problem. You shouldn't do that to somebody else's car. But
No,
go
no,
ahead.
no,
This is for your girlfriend. Thank you, Willie. This is for your girlfriend to determine if she gets to break up with you. If I roll a 7, she has to dump you. Okay, here we go. It's a 4. So Willie gets to keep his girlfriend.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
Watch out with that
Willie.
Hummer, Willie. And if you have, by the way, you can join us. If you have something you want us to solve in your life with a roll of a dice, you can leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. This Bernie Miklasz report is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Bernie, what's up?
Just hanging out, trying to stay warm, covering Cardinals baseball, watching Mizzou basketball, going to watch the Four Nations final tonight, U.S. and Canada. Can't wait for that to see if the Tkachuk brothers do great again, see if Jordan Bennington can steal a game for Canada. So, as always, so much fun on the sports calendar.
So let's talk about that Mizzou win. This is now 3 top 5 teams who are either top 5 now or were in the top 5 at some point of the year that Missouri has beaten. And by doing so, this is a tournament team, I think, a lock, correct? I don't see any way they don't make it.
100%.
Yeah. So
and
what
they, and they're, right now, and I studied a couple different sites. Right now, Mizzou's got a good chance to be a 4 seed in the tournament, which would be pretty remarkable given the fact that they were winless in conference play last season. I mean, so they're in the tournament. It's just a matter of how high they'll be seeded.
Well, I mean, they're a lot of fun to watch, and doing what they're doing right now, we always hope for a basketball team in the area to be a legitimate, not just a tournament contender, but one that can make a run once they get there. So if they play like this, Bernie, I mean, that bodes really well for them.
Well, it does. And I know that the NCAA tournament is somewhat random because it's just the reality. If you have a bad game, you're gone. It doesn't matter how great you were in the regular season. It doesn't necessarily carry over. However, Mizzou's got a lot of fantastic traits. And if enough of that comes to the forefront in NCAA play, they absolutely can make a run. Ken Pomeroy gets a lot of attention, and I'm a subscriber to Ken Pom, but I also think there's someone out there who is as good as Ken Pom, and his name is Bart Torvik, and he has a fantastic site if you want to kind of crunch the numbers and see how anyway. He's got, since January 1st, basically since Mizzou went into conference play, he's got them rated as the 4th best team in the nation. And that's not hyperbole, and that's not outlandish. They've been that good. Listen, they're the number 8 offense in the country. They're in the top 50 defensively. They can punish you inside. They can go to the free throw line all night long, which is huge in something like the NCAA tournament. And they're also a good 3-point shooting team. But if the 3-point shots aren't falling, like last night, they were outscored by Alabama in terms of 3-pointers. But Mizzou smoked Alabama by 20 points in terms of 2-point shots and free throws. So they can sort of play any style of offense that they have to, depending on what's working that night. I mean, they're really, really impressive.
Let's shift to spring training as the Cardinals are getting ready for their first game, their first Grapefruit League game, which will be Saturday. And of course, it will be here on KMOX and the Odyssey app. You can listen to it. How much really is there to be, just from a general overview, how much do you believe there is to be decided in terms of who's starting in the actual lineup? Not so much the rotation, but the actual lineup.
Well, I think it's always helpful for borderline candidates to make the roster, but also guys who are vying for regular playing time with the big club. And I'm talking about the hitters right now. I think it's always important. It's always in their best interest to have a really terrific spring training. I mean, the managers in baseball, they will cut their established regulars a lot of slack. Like no one's going to care what Wilson Contreras hits in spring training, or Nolan Arenado, or Lars Nootbaar, and right on down the line. But for someone who's trying to make a case for being in the lineup more often, and or making the team, like a Thomas Ajayci, I think it's important to put up big numbers in spring training. What we have to do as fans, though, is not be too carried away by spring training numbers. Like, just because a guy tears it up, it might make the team, and he might start, he might play more. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have a great season. It can be very misleading, and the temptation is to kind of make too much of it.
Bernie Miklasz is with us here on KMOX, and we were talking to, oh gosh, I can't remember who it was, who had the idea that maybe this Cardinals team is not nearly as, I don't want to say they're not a bad team. I don't think they are. I think going into the season, they're probably going to be okay. And that's what most people feel like. Is there an opportunity, and I mean a real opportunity, for this to actually be a good team in 2025?
Well, obviously their offense is going to be a heck of a lot better. I mean, the offense is the reason they didn't make the playoffs last year, and it's been really up and down and kind of mediocre for a while now. So if Walker and Gorman and Nootbaar and Donovan and Arenado and Contreras and Wynn, the guys who are their core nucleus, if those guys, most of those guys have really good years, but especially Walker and Gorman, the offense will come to life. My concern, if there is a concern, and frankly, the Cardinals bullpen was so great last year, just absolutely great, that I find it difficult to believe that they can replicate it. I don't think it's sustainable. And if they should get Andrew Kittredge is gone, and if Ryan Heldley should go down with an injury, the bullpen goes from being a strength to a tremendous liability, and that's the scary thing about this team. Any hopes and dreams they have, it would be blown up if this bullpen collapses in 2025.
Bernie, you mentioned those nucleus players and how their offense needs to step up, or if it steps up. But, those guys were on the roster last year. So how big is that if right now?
Well, let's use Walker and Gorman as an example. They were brutal last season, and there's really no reason to rehash that. We know they were awful. But if you go back and look what they each did in the 2023 season, Gorman was 23. He was 23 years old that season, and Walker was 21 and had never played in the majors before. Those guys collectively, you put their numbers together, really had terrific seasons. So, it's not like we haven't seen them have success at a very early age at the major league level, because they did it in 2023. But things just went awry last year. Pitchers find a weakness and they attack it, and then it's up to the hitter to adjust and adapt. They didn't do that last year. And I also, frankly, and I'm not just saying this now that they made the change, I was saying it all of last summer. Finally, they have I think a batting coach who is more wired for this day and age of coaching young hitters in particular. I think Brant Brown can make a difference, and Gorman and Walker are gaga over him. It's almost like they feel they're getting coached for the first time.
Bernie, I wanted to ask you a general baseball question here, and I am one of these people who has been for years advocating the automated strike zone. I know people talk about the human element all the time. I'm over that. I would like balls and strikes to be accurate, and especially in the biggest moments. They are going to test out during spring training this automated system. What are your thoughts on eventually baseball implementing it, which it looks like they're going to do once they feel like they have a handle on it?
Well, it's a great question, and I haven't thought about it all that much, but I'm starting to, obviously, and I'm curious to see how it'll go this spring. But there's no question it's on the way because Rob Manfred wants it to be on the way. This is like his latest baby that he's going to just show the world, and that's fine. So I'm open-minded about it. I mean, will there be kinks in the system? Will there be problems with the system? There's challenges, and I understand that the challenges are limited. The pitcher or the hitter can have a challenge on any pitch, but you only get like 3.
You start
each
with
game.
2,
Yeah,
and you lose
And
one if you lose.
yeah,
challenge.
and so
Yeah.
we're sort of gonna turn it into another game show, and I don't like that. But the other thing that bothers me about it is, like, if you look at the overall scorecards, and there's websites that break it down, the overall scorecards of umpires calling balls and strikes, it's actually a lot better than people think. In fact, it's very good. The problem is, for all of the umpires that are excellent at calling balls and strikes, there are a minority of umpires. I can't estimate how many off the top of my head. There might be 10, there might be 8, who are just brutal. They're horrible at it. And they basically have job security for life. There is nothing they can do outside of gambling, like that one umpire did, just got fired. Your performance does not matter if you're a major league umpire. You will never pay any consequences whatsoever. You never will be held accountable.
Yeah.
So if they just did a better job of screening umpires, they wouldn't have to go to a game show like the automated strike zone.
The only way they get held accountable is if they get caught gambling or something. That's
Right. Yeah. Off the field stuff. Yeah.
That's it. I remember one time sitting next to in a broadcast booth, sitting next to a guy who was, I don't remember his name, but he was an umpire evaluator. And he wasn't watching the game. And then at the very end, he had his little sheet and he marked whatever the numbers were, 1 through 10 or 1 through 5. It was just all 5s. Like, oh, these guys were great today. Like, really? You didn't even look. You were talking the whole time. So
Yeah,
I have no confidence in them.
No, and I feel bad for the great umpires, and there's a lot of really outstanding umpires. I feel bad for them because they get kind of thrown into the pile with the guys that are goofs and who have no idea what they're doing calling balls and strikes. I mean, that's just a kind of a shame. It taints the entire industry rather than the people that are responsible for creating this terrible reputation. But as long as MLB is going to let these people go on unchecked, well, I guess the one thing the umpires can't do is stop this automated zone when Rob Manfred says, "Okay, it's time.
Yep.
We don't need you behind the plate." So,
Bernie, lastly, before we say goodbye here, Yuri Collins is making his way to the NBA. This is a former SLU standout, but he's gotten a 10-day contract with the Golden State Warriors. So that's good news for him.
well, it is, and I was unaware of that. And he was a really good player. And I'm proud of the fact that Jordan Goodwin from SLU is still working in the NBA. Now, he's not a starting player. He's not a key guy off the bench, but he plays defense and he's a great teammate and he handles the ball well. And like, for example, with Goodwin, he continues to get opportunities with teams who appreciate his, appreciate what he brings to the floor. And even if it's just kind of a limited role. And I think Collins, with his playmaking ability and his ability to dish the ball and pile up assists, I don't know how much clock he's going to get, but he does have a really terrific skill when it comes to handling the ball and playmaking.
Bernie, we will talk next Tuesday. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy the first Cardinals spring game, which is Saturday. And as we say goodbye here, tell us about Saliga.
Oh, well, Saliga Heating and Cooling has been taking care of St. Louis families just like the Mickleses since 1927. We've been with them for 16 years or so and are delighted with everything about them. And I'm always proud to speak on their behalf. This independent American Standard heating air conditioning dealer can take care of anything you need. Dan Saliga is the 4th generation owner operator of this business. In fact, they operate out of the same building down on Gravois in South City. So the tradition continues. They do it all: residential work, commercial work, all makes and models. They can handle things that aren't specifically about heating and cooling. So you can go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com and check out all the list of services. They also have a Priority Club, which is a maintenance program that's got numerous benefits, including giving you safety and peace of mind and extending the life of that American Standard heating and air conditioning equipment if you have that. Financing options are available, subject to credit approval. But to find out everything about this Priority Club, and I highly recommend it, go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and the phone number is right there. Thank you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. If you have exposed brick or stone in your garage, basement, or fireplace, this would be a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. The Morelli team can work 12 months a year on the inside of your home. Tuck pointing is the removal and replacement of old and missing mortar on a wall or chimney. When you tuck point your home, you strengthen your structure, you prevent water damage, and you add value to your property. The Morelli team is expert at matching the color of the new mortar to the color of the old mortar. And I know because the Morellis have tuck pointed patios, walls, and chimneys at 2 of our homes here in St. Louis. Morelli is a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award and the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. You can also research their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. Morelli Tuck Pointing at 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN's birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. Visit NordVPN and discover the benefits. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Encrypt your online traffic. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro. Get the special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN.
Amongst the guest instructors for the Cardinals are a couple former infielders who have had quite the impact on the organization in Ozzie Smith and David Freese. While Ozzie is one of the best to ever play the game, Freese is someone who had to scrap for everything, but also had one of the biggest nights in playoff history. Manager Oliver Marmol says it's important to have a diverse group of alumni in during spring training.
Some guys will connect more with David's story and how kind of his path to the big leagues and his struggles in the big leagues and how he handled pressure. And some guys will take a completely different message out of what Ozzie brings to the table. So you just want to kind of make these guys available and allow the players to not be intimidated by seeing them walking around, but actually go ask questions, go ask them about their story. Because once you do, it's one after another.
This spring training report is sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories, and by Norm's Bargain Barn and Wilkie Window and Door. In Jupiter, Florida at Cardinal Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Seidman Cancer Center Spotlight. This month we are focusing on National Cancer Prevention Month. And joining us is Dr. Graham Kolditz, Associate Director at Seidman Cancer Center.
More than half of cancer is preventable by literally changing the way we live, whether it's how we eat, drink, exercise, have vaccines, have screenings.
Special thanks to Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to seidman.wustl.edu.
I'm Rachel Zimmerman. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Good morning.
math wizards. The odds of rolling a 7 are 5 in 36, not 1 in 6, which is 13.89% of the time. If you're curious, the odds are 1 in 36 of rolling an 11, or 2.78% of the time.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
what I told you.
Whatever,
Ranj.
know-it-all.
I told you
That's not true, though.
I told you so many times during the break. I was like, no, it's 13.89%. Why do you not understand? I told you so many times.
Thanks,
about
James, for leaving us a voice message
love
on
it.
the Odyssey app, but that's not what the internet says. The internet says that
Well,
it is 16.7%. You have a chance of rolling a 7.
5 and 36, obviously slightly less than the 6 and 36, 1 and 6.
Well, we are. If you've got something that you would like for us to roll the dice on in your life, we're going to make major decisions by using the dice. If you want to, let us know what you want
Yeah.
us to solve for you.
Hey, I know right now, Ranj. Is Ranj going
Yeah.
to reach out to the sisters, the girl's sister?
Well, it's funny that you say that because a 314
Yeah?
asks, roll the dice to see if Chris should date the sister.
Do it!
All right.
Yes!
If I roll a 7, I will go out with the sister. Okay. Oh, I rolled a 4.
You have 2 tries. You have to do
Oh,
twice.
damn it. I got to do it again. I really don't know if I want to do this.
You have to. That's what the sheriff said.
6.
No!
Got a 6. Woo! Dodge that bullet twice.
Think about the show. It'd be so good for the
Yeah,
show.
come on.
All
we
right,
have
one more
4
roll.
hours
One
to kill
more
every
roll.
day. All
Let's
you
see.
have to do
Here
is
we go. Am I dating the wacko sister? Damn it, it's a 7. Ah! All right, let's call her now. Let's call her right now. All right. This is not good.
Yes.
This is going to be terrible.
Listen, you can't suddenly have discerning tastes
Okay. This
out of nowhere.
Oh, stop it. Hey, I've done okay for myself. This text message says, should I go to the casino? 7, I go. Anything else, I stay home.
Well,
Okay.
obviously, that's the rule.
This is from
7's
a
the rule.
314.
Come on, baby.
All right. Should this person go to the casino? Rolled an 8. Sorry,
Well,
you
you get
must
2
stay.
rolls.
Oh, damn it. We'll do one more roll.
How there's
and
only a couple
you
rules of this game.
8 again.
Oh, wow.
So you have to stay home.
I'm sorry.
No casino for you, friend. Sorry about
We
that.
appreciate the texts.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that James is correct. I think it's
I
16.7.
thought we had another text about the dice chances.
We did not.
Oh.
We did have a text message. Well,
Yeah.
you basically you spoiled one of them.
Did I?
Yeah.
Wait,
That was
how?
it. Here's another one. Roll the dice.
Okay.
Should I drink this 5th of Jack? What are these people listening doing right
What?
now?
Hurry. We only
Okay.
have to.
You should not. I just rolled a 10.
You have 2 tries. Remember? How do you
Okay.
always forget the second roll?
I know. And a 3. No, wait, an 8. 8.
oh.
Sorry. Nope. Sorry. I keep forgetting.
That sounded like a lie.
It isn't a lie. I
A
swear
3,
to God.
I mean an 8.
Do not drink a 5th of Jack at 12 o'clock on a Thursday, unless you got the day off. Do whatever you want.
And I will say Thursday is the Friday of the weekdays.
That's right.
We are 100% mailing it in from here on out.
Oh, here's another one. Should I quit my job and just do Uber?
Come on,
Here
baby.
we go. 7. Yes, quit your job.
Yes.
Congratulations. Go do Uber. When we come back, Professor of Sociology at St. Louis University will tell us how to measure success in St. Louis, and it's not the way you've been thinking. Ness Sandoval is next.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Hear my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening in Redbirds camp with the Cardinal Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Since 1991, St. Louis has served as the gateway to the best men's basketball tournament, Arch Madness. Experience buzzer beaters, madness, and Missouri Valley Conference glory. And it begins here. The 2025 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by Credit Union One and Great Southern Bank, tips off March 6th through the 9th. Celebrate 35 years of Arch Madness. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Call now to secure 1 ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. Don't miss out on this special deal. Regularly priced at $49.95, but for a limited time, only $39.95. Save $10 per silver bar. Limit of 25 bars per customer. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $250 in savings and free shipping on every order. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value free. Call 1-800-386-7195 now to secure your 1 ounce Morgan Silver Bars for only $39.95. That's 1-800-386-7195.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, Stacy here with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. We have a helpful seminar coming up Friday, March 7th that just might be the help you didn't even know you needed. Learn about the current housing market and tips on how to downsize and move from a home you may have been in for 20 years, or maybe it's been 50. Happy hour follows. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com and let us know if you're able to join us. Thanks, and we hope to talk with you soon.
Special announcement. Together Credit Union is now accepting applications for its Together Foundation Community Scholarship Program. This year, Together Credit Union will award 5 $1,500 scholarships to eligible students who live and work in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, Madison County, or St. Clair County. Applications for the Together Foundation Community Scholarship are accepted until Monday, March 31st. Learn more at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
At 12 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 12 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. I'm Megan Lynch. Wall Street retreating from its record as a slide for Walmart weighs on U.S. stock indices. As Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 642 points, the NASDAQ Composite sank 0.9%. Walmart gave a forecast for upcoming profit that fell short of analyst expectations. That helped pull stocks down across the retail industry. The latest leading economic index came out today. It fell by 0.3% in January, reversing most gains from the previous 2 months.
The LEI provides an early indication of significant turning points in the business cycle and where the economy is heading in the near term. It traditionally can predict when the economy will go into or come out of a recession, for example. The decline today was driven by a more pessimistic outlook on business conditions from consumers, as well as fewer weekly hours worked in the manufacturing sector. That being said, the index reading is still 101.5. That is above 100, which is the tipping point of a positive or negative outlook for the economy as a whole. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
A memorial service being held for the homeless woman found dead in the cold across the street from the downtown St. Louis morgue this week. It will be held at 2:30 this afternoon near the steam vent where she was found on Clark Street between Tucker and 14th. With the region continuing to lose residents, growing the population has been seen as a benchmark for success.
But St. Louis University demographer Ness Sandoval wants to change the narrative a bit and focus on our children.
If we can make improvements in quality of life, if we can increase the opportunity structure for our children, that may be more successful than saying we're not growing as a region.
Because Sandoval says numbers don't tell the whole story. While regions like St. Charles are growing, he says it's not families with children. He says 96% are senior citizens, and that doesn't help our population in a decade. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sandoval was a guest on the Chris and Amy Show. Pregnant Missouri women who are considering an abortion could have their information stored in a proposed database that's being described as eHarmony for babies. Arnold Republican State Representative Phil Amato says he wants to improve the adoption process. Ozark Republican Jamie Craig tells Amato he has concerns about the bill.
We're going to spend money on the front end, but we're going to save the state money on the back end.
Dollars aside, how is this different from adoption agencies?
Less costly.
I am a firm believer, and I think all Republicans at least, I know I can speak for them at least, smaller government. and the government should never be in competition with private industry.
Amato thinks the annual estimated cost of the plan would be closer to $1 million instead of the projected $32 million to create a new division to handle the effort. From the KMOX business desk, President Donald Trump says he's considering buying used Boeing aircraft, perhaps from an overseas seller to use as Air Force One. The president made the comments in response to the U.S. plane makers' delays in producing 2 specially modified ones for presidential use. The Dow from Stifel this hour is down 631 points at 43,995. The S&P 500 is down 50 points at 6,093. The weather now sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. We're looking for cold conditions today, mostly sunny skies with a high near 23. Clear and cold tonight, an overnight low near 0. And then tomorrow, still cold, plenty of sunshine though, a high of 30. Right now we have sunny skies, 12 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
City SC returns to the pitch this Saturday to kick off the 2025 season at Enterprise Park against the Colorado Rapids. Pre-game at 7, kick at 7:30, and you can hear the game on your home for St. Louis City Soccer. Y98.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Score is with you. And if you were to define success in St. Louis, how would you do it? Population growth? What if it were something different? Well, with that idea, joining us now is Dr. Ness Sandoval, professor of sociology and demography at St. Louis University. Dr. Sandoval, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Well, let's get right down to it. If success in St. Louis is not designed by population, how would you designate success?
So I would start to think about it, and this is in the context of population growth. It's going to be very difficult for the region if we define success by population growth, just given what's the structures in place. So and I think we need to start thinking about we do have success in our region, and so we need to start acknowledging that we have success in other parts of our region, and that's the conversation I want to start having. Is that we have lots of people who are doing really good things, and so maybe we're being too hard on ourselves when we say we're not growing. And what I want to start thinking about is our children, and investing in our children, because they are the future. And so if we can make improvements in quality of life, if we can increase the opportunity structure for our children, that may be more successful than saying we're not growing as a region.
So why is that? Go ahead.
If we see success in our children are doing better, they have more opportunities, and quality of life in general is enhanced, that may be a better metric of success for the region than simply saying we're not growing.
Is that to say that we don't need the numbers? Because it does seem that, we probably do eventually, right?
Yeah. So this is, it's kind of we need people to move into our region, but when we start to look, we're going to get the data in about 4 weeks. But what we're seeing in the data is population growth in itself is not necessarily a good thing. And let me explain. So, and this is trying to be very transparent with your audience here. The region needs more families and children. This is part of the challenge for the region. But right now, the region, and especially in St. Charles, is 96% of the growth in St. Charles is from senior citizens. It is not families with children. And so that helps today. That helps with the population growth today. But it doesn't address what the region looks like in 10, 15 years. And so the region needs younger adults to move to the region and needs more families with children. And so we have to think about how do we create an opportunity structure for these young adults to where they want to stay in the region and they want to make St. Louis a place where they want to raise families. That's where I think we need to think about success, is that we need more. We have actually fewer families today than we did in 2010. And so, and this is not what's happening in our other peer regions that we compare ourselves to. And so we have to start thinking about what are some other ways that we can get younger families and their children to our region. And it may be actually focusing on making sure that they see dreams for their children here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that success should be measured not just in population, but in child poverty rate, affordable housing, and access to quality education. Let's start with that last one first, because Dr. Sandoval, we've talked to so many listeners who have said the school system, the St. Louis City Public Schools, they're broken. I mean, we've seen the scandals, we know the numbers, and people who are lifelong city residents said, as soon as I had kids, I moved out. I don't want my kids to go to a failing school system, and I don't want my kids to be the sacrificial lambs to be there until it gets better. How do we fix the public schools?
I talked about this as well. I think there has to be an acknowledgement that there has to be a reimagining of what St. Louis Public Schools looks like. It is one of the major factors in which families leave the city. And there has to be people who are willing to come to the table, who are transparent and want to work for the common good of the city and the parents who are here. If you're just talking and not actually doing the hard work of making difficult decisions, I don't see it changing. And it's one of the reasons why families with children leave the city. It's about 90 families every month are leaving the city since 2019. And this is not going to stop. I don't see how the city is able to turn this around without addressing what the public schools look like. And then these are going to be difficult decisions. If you look around the country, and I'll just point to Fort Worth, Texas, it's a growing city, and they are already in the process of closing down schools because they can see what the 10-year trend looks like. And we are refusing to have this discussion today. And we need to be closing these schools 5-10 years ago. And so our failure to address the reality of this is what I want to get to. Like, closing schools could be a sign of success if we can make better quality schools. Okay. It's not the number of schools, but you want quality schools. And so I've had so many people tell me, Ness, I don't want school choice if the choice is bad.
So when you say that the difficult decisions, you're talking about the city and the school system making those difficult decisions, closing schools to reduce the number, but ideally improve the quality in the remaining schools?
Yeah, and then looking at different types of models in terms of strategically saying these are the neighborhoods in which we see population growth, the family stability, economic environment. And you may have to build a new school. I mean, this is what's happening in other cities. Like, there are just no families in some areas. So you may have to just abandon those schools and build new schools in other parts of the city and say, these are the cities that are going to anchor the new families and the new residents.
It's got to be a challenge because for some people, if a school closes, they may not be in position to go to that school, to get their kids to that school. Transportation could be a problem. So, I mean, how much of an issue is that? Or am I overthinking that as being a problem?
These are issues. Like, this is the type of discussions we should be having today. It's like, what does this look like? Not only for the city, but there are going to be parts of the county in which you're going to see schools closing simply because we don't have the families and children to support them. And so we need to have these discussions of what this system looks like. If you create a charter school and it's only going to be around for 10 years, that's a temporary solution. It's not a long-term solution to investing in our children. And that schools is one important. I also think about the co-curricular activities that go in addition with schools. Like, what types of activities are available after school for our children to be involved with? What type of chess clubs are there? What types of other activities can our children be involved with? And they definitely exist in the suburbs, but in the city, I think we're seeing a declining number of these activities. So we have to
go ahead. Yeah.
We have to be intentional with these investments.
You also bring up affordable, attainable housing. And just from like a 30,000 foot view, when I look at St. Louis, we know it is one of the most affordable cities, like in the top 5, right? In the country when it comes to housing. And I get that it's still difficult to get a house, but I kind of feel like, man, if you can't get a house or affordable housing in St. Louis, where can we get affordable housing? Because we are one of the most approachable, attainable cities when it comes to housing.
So we do, but it's changed over the past 8 years or so. We do not build housing at the rate that our peer cities build new housing. And we are now ranked 47th in the country in terms of new housing starts. This includes single family and multifamily homes. We're the 23rd largest country, but it is very possible within the next 5 years, we will be out of the top 50 metropolitan regions for new housing starts. So what this means, and I made a post on this on LinkedIn, a place like Clayton, a very good place, historically had lots of children, today has less than 500 children under 5 years old. Has less than 500 children under 5, because Clayton itself is not an affordable place for young families. If you go today on Zillow, you'll see that, at least as of a couple of days ago, there were no homes in Clayton under $500,000. And so Clayton itself used to be historically a place where families started and had children. It's not that place anymore today. So Clayton's not affordable. There are parts of West County that are not affordable for young families because the homes are going for $700,000 to $900,000. That's not the entry-level home for young families with children. And we're missing that. The St. Louis region is missing that supply of that entry-level homes. Even in the city, you have homes that are $700,000. And so you can go to other metropolitan regions, get that same home for $400,000, $300,000. So we're becoming a very expensive city, whether we want to or not, in terms of housing.
So are the affordable homes, the entry-level homes, are those moving to the outskirts, like west, south, and north? Because I know Clayton's expensive, but even like growing up, like as a kid, I knew Clayton was like, oh, that's where the rich people live. Like it's always been expensive.
And Clayton always had more children too, though. Yeah. And so we're not building these homes at the rate that we used to build them 10 years ago. And there's discussions that are happening in St. Charles, Jefferson County, where I live in Chesterfield, about how do we increase these entry-level homes. It is one of the challenges for the region is, and then I'm talking even on the Illinois side, there's opportunity. Several people reached out to me that live on the Illinois side and say, hey, we're part of the solution here too. We can build these homes. And so we have to think about the regional assets we have, not just only in St. Louis County and St. Charles County, but on the other side of the river, there is opportunity to build single-family homes.
Ness Sandoval is with us, professor of sociology. How are we doing as a region in terms of attracting immigrants to St. Louis, and how important are they?
So we are getting better. In terms of percent change, we were number 1 in the country this past year, and that was through intentional efforts, through the Mosaic Project, through the International Institute. And so we recognize that the immigrant population that moves to the St. Louis region is very different than the immigrant population that's going to Chicago or to Los Angeles. The immigrant population, by and large, actually outperforms the native-born population in our region on several matrices. When we think about educational attainment, we think about home ownership, we do extremely well. When you look at the immigrant destinations in our region, they are in Town and Country, Maryland Heights, Chesterfield. So these areas signify that they're being very successful when they get to our area. We just don't have a very large immigrant population. There are 160,000 immigrants. our peer cities are over 300,000. And so that's one of the challenges that St. Louis, when we look at the population numbers, we're not this destination where we get lots of immigrants. And the same is true for Missouri in general. And so I don't see this is like 5% of the factor for population change. There's not a lot of immigrants coming into the United States today. And so if the region wants to grow, the region needs to become a magnet for American movers. And there are hundreds of thousands of people moving today. And I try to tell people, like, we have people from Dallas, we have people from Boston, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, who are moving into the city. Unfortunately, we have more people from the city moving to those cities, so it's actually a net loss every year to Dallas, to Chicago, to Philadelphia. And so we have to figure out and understand why when they get here do people immediately leave. And I think you pointed out one of the issues is school. The other issue is crime and the perception of crime in the city. And so when people say, well, having your car broken into, well, that's just to be able to becoming a St. Louis resident. That's got to change. That cannot be the experience of new residents saying, well, now you're a St. Louis resident because your car is broken into. That's a terrible introduction into the city life.
Yeah. No, for sure. Dr. Ness Sandoval, we could talk to you longer. We hope to talk to you again. This is Dr. Ness Sandoval, professor of sociology and demography at St. Louis University. Thank you for your time today. And again, we hope to talk to you again soon about this topic. Really interesting.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
How many of you think that taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, March 4th or Thursday, March 6th at Cooper's Hawk. They believe you can't have a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Have you dreamt of a career as a police officer, but thought your tattoos were holding you back? I'm Officer John Van Gordon, recruiter for the Springfield, Missouri Police Department. Whether it's one small tattoo or a whole sleeve, you can have visible tattoos and still pursue your dream serving your community. We welcome you to apply for the Academy starting soon. You're dedicated and hardworking. That's what we're looking for. To learn more, visit gospd.com. That's gospd.com.
Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. Don't miss out on this special deal. Regularly priced at $49.95, but for a limited time, only $39.95. Save $10 per silver bar. Limit of 25 bars per customer. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $250 in savings and free shipping on every order. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value free.
Call 1-800-386-7195 now
to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Bars for only $39.95.
That's 1-800-386-7195.
St. Louis stories. St. Louis pride. KMOX is the voice of St. Louis.
Good job, Amy. Thanks for pulling things back to the center on that conversation about Pritzker and Trump. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Whoa, whoa. She just gave it that royal thing.
The royal, like wrist hand roll.
Yeah, the acknowledgement. The royal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am great, aren't I?
I'm just trying to be me, you know.
It's about time. It's about time
Thank you
somebody
very much
likes me.
for the voice message.
We also have a follow-up from the person who said if we rolled a 7,
Yeah.
that they would quit their job and
Yeah.
drive Uber full time. And I said, maybe you want to not necessarily make a whole life decision on this.
But you rolled a 7.
I did roll a 7, and they responded by giving us their entire resignation letter.
Oh, wow.
So here's what it was. To whom it concerns, this message is to serve as my notice of my intent to vacate my position at blank, with my final day being the last day of the school year. Are they a teacher?
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve the community and their children for the past 11 years. However, I've decided to move on from this career and begin a new one.
Oh my
Sincerely,
gosh.
so-and-so.
What if it was a school bus driver? Because now they're going to drive Uber and we need bus drivers. You have literally hurt the community with your dice rolling.
That's not my fault.
It's the sheriff's
I
fault.
didn't tell this person to make a decision based on that.
You
It is
kind
the
of
sheriff's.
did, though. You said call in and make your decision based on this.
Yeah, I really did.
Yeah.
But like the lawyer commercials,
Uh-huh.
advertising should not be the sole reason that you choose an attorney, right?
Yeah.
That's what we have to say
Decisions.
legally.
The choice of an attorney is a serious one and should not be made based solely on advertisement.
Same thing. All right. So we have been, because we care about you,
Yeah.
do we not, Amy?
We care a
about
lot.
the listener.
And that's
we
why-
have been bringing you
The egg beat.
the egg beat.
The Wall Street Journal, folks. There is a Wall Street of eggs. There is the Egg Clearinghouse. Yeah. It connects large volume buyers with sellers, providing a crucial service, especially when avian flu is wreaking havoc
I love that water.
on the egg supply. So it's an office building in New Hampshire. Roughly 12 people facilitate the trading of billions of eggs a year.
What?
Billions of eggs a year. Literally, it's the Wall Street of eggs. It's in an office building in New Hampshire. It shapes what Americans pay per dozen at the supermarket. It is the ECI, or the Egg Clearinghouse. Not even joking. It's like the Wall Street for eggs, because eggs are sold and dealt and so forth outside of Wall Street. And of the roughly 110 billion eggs laid by U.S. hens, they're contracted to commercial customers, ending up in places like Kroger, Waffle House, or Hotel Buffet. Terms of those contracts aren't public. So through the Egg Clearinghouse, a buyer can bid for truckloads of eggs at a particular price. Then a farmer with eggs for sale responds with an offer, and the ECI collects a 1-cent commission per dozen eggs it trades, regardless of the price. All trades are blind, and only after a deal is done does ECI allow the parties to know each other's identity.
So this
is
was
insane.
Was this a thing before the egg crisis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it's the egg clearinghouse because, like, for hogs, corn, wheat, soybeans, cattle, all of that is run by CME Group, but this is the egg clearinghouse, and it's a real thing. And the Wall Street Journal did a whole profile on it.
Eggs are really hard to come by these days, and they're getting more and more expensive. We will continue to keep you updated on egg news during this egg crisis, we promise you. But when we come back, we are going to talk to actor and musician Thomas Ian Nicholas. If you've seen the movie American Pie or Rookie of the Year, you know who Thomas is. He joins us in studio next.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Eileen talks about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
A lot of growth kitchen in the beginning, crack formica, bad floor, ripped linoleum, and I decided to heck with this. I want it done. And I found an ad from 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. I called him. Dave brought all of his stuff. We talked about what I wanted. I chose the materials. It was very easy. He came in. He did what he said. They did it in the time frame that they said, at the cost that they said. His crew was delightful. We came home. Everything had been cleaned up. I would say people are silly not to do 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. I just love it. It's just like I moved into a new home.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
At 12:30, we have sunny skies, 13 degrees downtown at the Arch. In this hour, the St. Louis City Police state takeover bill has now passed out of the Missouri House. Stuart McMillan joins us in studio live with the latest.
Megan, the bill brings back a state-run board of police commissioners for St. Louis City. That's what it proposes, and it increases penalties for crimes like stunt driving and organized theft. It also expands the definition of rioting and requires police to report the immigration status of offenders. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe is applauding the passage out of the House, saying this is a major step forward. He says the bill will foster accountability and safety by having oversight of the city police department. The bill is now moving over to the Missouri Senate. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The forecast for today, mostly sunny, cold, a high near 23. Clear, very cold tonight with an overnight low near 0. And then tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, but still cold, a high of 30. Right now, sunny skies, 13 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Early bird specials, $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th, Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Sheraton, St. Louis. Fairview Heights, Fairview Heights. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse and hitting the road.
I know. Just got the notification.
Great. Smooth sailing so far. I'm almost there.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Made it. Safe and sound.
I know.
Well, did you know I was with USPS the whole time?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Keep your business in the know with the USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Now the pitch. The Cardinals hit the field this Saturday for spring training play against the Marlins. Pre-game 11:55, first pitch 12:10. And you can hear the Redbirds' first spring training game right here.
Hi, I'm Matt Adams. Your home of the Cardinals is KMOX.
We at Pepsi really think Henry could be the choice of a new generation. If Henry can show Pepsi that he's a winner, we'll sign him.
Well, after a shaky outing yesterday, Martinell is showing confidence in the rookie by bringing him in. 12-year-old Henry Rowan-Gardner, the youngest person in history to play Major League Baseball.
It's Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. And today in studio, we're happy to be joined by Thomas Ian Nicholas, who is the star of Rookie of the Year. Also, you saw him in American Pie. He is a musician as well. Played a show last night at Hot Java in right off Manchester. And tonight, there is a Rookie of the Year screening and a Q&A at the Lincoln Theater in Belleville, Illinois, which I've been to. It's a cool theater. That happens at 7 o'clock. Thomas Ian Nicholas with us. How you doing, Thomas?
I'm good. I believe my character's name from Rookie of the Year is pronounced Henry Rowan Gardner. Just so you know.
Can I have to
so good. I'm not going to make it through this interview because I am a huge fan of Henry, and growing up watching that movie. And here's the thing, we're KMOX, right? Like Bob Costas, Jack Buck. I've been on record so many times during sports conversations saying that this is the greatest sports movie ever made. I don't care about Bull Durham or The Natural, whatever. Those are tryhards. Compared to Rookie of the Year, it is the greatest sports movie ever made. It's still quotable. We'd still talk about hot ice. You heat up the ice cubes.
So
it's the best of both worlds, Henry.
What do you get when people bring up movies to you? Do they bring up American
We've
Pie
lost
or
Amy.
this one?
She's
done.
she's
Not like
I'm
she got that out,
it's
and
over.
now she's just gonna laugh.
It's
for the rest
over.
of the
There's
interview.
nothing else that happens next. Do people bring up that one, American Pie or Rookie of the Year?
It depends on where I am in the world. I mean, obviously, American Pie is a billion-dollar franchise, so
Well,
I've
there's
been
that.
recognized, like in an airport in Caracas, just like on a layover.
Yeah.
Versus if I'm in this pocket, which is, obviously more Illinois than being here in Missouri, but but still I'm in this Midwest pocket. So here it's more Henry Rowan Gardner.
See?
Amy's happy about
Henry
that.
Gardenhoser.
It is one of her favorites.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a great movie, and also it is one of those where with John Candy in the broadcast booth, working with him, even as a kid, had to have been special.
It's a crazy thing. First of all, he was an amazing
Yeah.
person. I didn't meet him during the filming.
Interesting.
He wasn't in the original script. So they shot his part 3 months later.
Oh, wow.
And all that stuff is, as far as I know, they shot it at like Fox at the lot in
Hmm.
Los Angeles. It's mostly improv from John Candy, and he's uncredited in the film.
Oh, I didn't
But
realize
everybody knows
that.
he's
No.
there.
Everybody, yeah.
He's so famous he doesn't even need his name in the movie.
Wow.
And I think it was something similar with Home Alone, right? Did he get credited in that movie?
I don't know if he's credited, but that is all improv.
Yeah,
That
that's
whole
Man.
bit with him and Catherine O'Hara. Yeah.
So you're in these two movies that have a following all these years later. Is that what is that like to have something that you did so long ago still resonate with people?
It's a funny thing because maybe 8, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was really trying to separate myself from that nostalgia to make sure that I could do other things in my career and not be sort of stuck in that kind of lane. And so I did that. I produced some films for Sony and Lionsgate, and I have a new TV show on Amazon. And then I kind of just was like, you know what? I'm just going to embrace this and connect with people and do events and things. So now I do both. Now I have my other stuff, my serious roles where I get to beat up bad guys and go head to head with Mickey Rourke. And then I go into retro screening events or American Pie emo night and embrace that and really connect with people that we've kind of we've all grown up together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just getting to meet some of the people I've grown up with now.
Was it hard to do that? Because I've heard that about that sort of thing from a lot of people who were in movies, and they were like, I don't want to be known as that. I want to do other things. But then they finally learned to embrace it. Was it difficult to get there?
It's, one of the things is I think in my industry, the industry kind of frowns upon you resting on your laurels, but the fans don't care about that. Yeah. So people that enjoy watching the film. So it's like, do I want to impress my coworkers? Or do I want to embrace people who like my work? So I choose always the people.
Has that freed you up to be able to pursue the different projects now? Like acknowledging, like you said, we grew up together, you change and your career evolves, you change as a person. So now you're able to pursue other things because you've embraced the past.
I think it's just really, I think we're in a day and age where it's important to just be honest and not try to play a role in your life. I leave the roles for the screen.
Yeah, that's I love the idea of being able to do multiple things and play multiple different roles. I don't know that I could ever be an actor. There was a time where I thought that I could do this if I wanted to, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult when you watch people do different things.
You understand what it's like to do different takes. I mean, from what I understand, you're going to do
the same person.
You're about to do your third take as an officiant.
Oh, dude. Okay.
You guys, it all comes full circle with Raj.
So
this sketchy character over here is nothing but sketchy friends.
I have told Thomas about the fact that I have been asked to officiate a few different weddings, and one of them didn't make it. Same person. So Thomas knows that same person. Turns out.
Are we protecting the names of the guilty?
I think
here?
Okay. Yeah, he knows.
What's his first name?
He knows who. He's probably listening in online right now.
Rhymes with Mason. You'll figure it out eventually. I saw.
Are there any other options? There's only one option.
It's pretty limiting. Yeah.
You pretty much just told everyone his name.
He gave you a binary rhyme.
I really screwed that up, didn't I? He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
She's not listening. Thomas Ian Nicholas is with us in studio right now. Tonight you've got the Q&A at the Lincoln Theater in Belleville, right across the river. What happens? I know what a Q&A is, but when you
what does it stand for?
What do you do? Do you watch the movie with everybody, or do you come in after? How does that work?
I mean, sometimes I go early for the VIP meet and greet. So anyone that got VIP meet and greet tickets, we do that before the film. And then I usually, if I'm there, I'll introduce the movie. Just sort of like, welcome to the theater, welcome everyone there. And then, after I like to do the Q&A afterward, as opposed to some of these retro events, they want to do it before. I'm like, no, we got to do it after. And then after that, I have, some stuff that I bring with me. Like I've got like Henry Rowan Gardner baseball cards and pictures and jerseys and things that are kind of at the merch booth. So if people want to pick up, an item to remember the night, they can.
Incredible. So do you find that at each event there's a certain block of questions that always get asked, and then have you ever been surprised by a question?
It's been a minute since I've done a retro screening of Rookie of the Year. I started because last year was the 25th anniversary of American Pie.
Yeah.
So in the summer I started American Pie Emo Night in Buffalo, New York, and that I did 115 shows with my band last year, and 18 of them were American Pie Emo Night. And then it started selling to Canada, Australia, the UK.
Wow.
So now I'm still celebrating the 25th anniversary in the next year. That's fine. It's, it's close enough.
That's right.
So it's been a minute. So I don't remember what the average questions were. I have to get back to you the next time I come through, which I will be back through because I've got to make up that Kansas City date at some point later this year. And the closest awesome city to Kansas City is St. Louis. So I'll be back again.
Oh, great.
When it warms up for real.
Oh,
not this fake like 50 and then 4 and then 50 and then 14.
And here when it warms up, it's unbearable.
It's pretty. It's like a armpit.
It's
pretty.
I was here in May last year. I remember. I've been playing here like once a year.
Yeah.
But I've been in both times. In the summer when it's sweltering, and all of that. And then I was here for like, what was that? 2000, was it 2008, 2010 rivalry rally? I played at Ballpark Village.
I was
with my
going to
band.
say, yeah. Do you get to Busch Stadium much? Are you a baseball fan?
Well, they
in
did
general?
invite me around that time period to throw out the first pitch for the Cardinals. I was like, you realize I played a Cub, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
You didn't turn it down, did you?
I said, as long as I can go onto the mound in a Cardinals jersey
Yeah.
and then take that jersey off and there's a Cubs Rowan Gardner one, he goes, they'll kill you. And I said, then don't invite me.
They're actually fairly nice here.
Yeah, we wouldn't have. We're not Philadelphia. We're not going to hit
Yeah,
you
they're
with
not
batteries. We're just going to boo a little.
Hit you with batteries, Jesus.
That's what they do.
That's what
They hit
do.
you with batteries.
They booed Santa Claus and threw batteries at their own guys.
You gotta
so,
love 'em.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing for me is I've been doing the first pitch for the Cubs since 2008 every year. So that's what, 16 years. This will be the 17th year. For the first pitch, I only really do like the AAA and AA ball clubs that are affiliated with other teams. For the major league, I just do the Cubs. I mean, I was a Cub, you know.
Yeah.
Thomas Ian Nicholas is
course.
with us, and I mentioned American Pie with you, and anybody who is about my age has probably seen American Pie.
I'm quite a bit younger, so
5 or 15 or 100 times. We've probably seen that movie a lot. I've seen that you turned it down first. You didn't want to do it.
I did turn it down. Yeah. I
want the story.
Would you care to elaborate? Yes, I would. Did I just ask myself to elaborate? Yes.
Well, I'm not
I've
going to
only
do
just
it.
woken
so
up. I love.
I
the
don't know how to
fact
do interviews. I haven't figured it out yet.
or weddings.
or officiate weddings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe anyway.
I'm a gigantic failure.
No, you're fine.
Thanks, man.
I was 17 when they sent me the script, and I used to go on like 200 auditions every year just to land one job. So, you know, I get sent a script. They'd say, read it. If you like it, you can go audition. So I got the script. The title page said, not American Pie. It didn't say, you know, East Great Falls High, which is a play on East Grand Rapids. It said untitled teen sex comedy that you can make for under $10 million that most readers will hate, but I think you'll love. That was the title of the script in bold, all caps. So I opened up the first page. It wasn't Jim and his sock puppet. It was Kevin and Vicky was instructing Kevin on which way to move his fingers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I went, what the hell is this? And I threw it in the trash. I called my agent and said, why are you sending me porn?
Yeah.
So they offered it to my friend from high school, Andrew Keegan, but he was doing 10 Things I Hate About You. So, and there was one day in particular, which I found out was because of Save Ferris. So I lovingly told Monique, the lead singer, that I've renamed Save Ferris to Save Kevin. It's because of them that they came back to me. They said, will you read it? Reconsider. I read it. I was like, oh, there's a lot more to this. So I went and auditioned, and now the rest is history.
Aren't you glad you did?
Yeah. Duh. Whoops. But that just goes to show, like, when something's meant for you, it's meant for you. I mean, there was not a similar sense of turning it down, but a similar double opportunity for Rookie of the Year. When I auditioned for that one the first time, I didn't get a call back.
Huh.
I was switching agents. New agent said, hey, I got an audition for Rookie of the Year. I said, oh, I already went on that. She goes, well, obviously they don't remember you, so go again.
That's amazing.
That's great.
So, you know, if 80% of success is showing up, I had 160% chance of landing that role.
You mentioned Thomas going to what, 200 or so auditions, and then you land the one job. I forgot what actor it was. I saw him explaining that you get demoralized through that process, but then you have to look at it like the audition. Look at it like it's a work. That in itself is the job. Going on auditions is the job. Did you learn it like that?
I mean, I never thought about it like that at the time. I just got used to the process, but certainly you're doing all the work. And then when you get the job, then you get to go have fun and play.
Yeah.
So that's the reward for all that work. The work was looking for the work.
Well, and obviously you were pretty young when you were in Rookie of the Year and so forth. And so sometimes you hear about young actors, child actors, not having a good experience in outside Hollywood, right? Like whether they're in their high school or whatever. How were you with your friends? Was your childhood as you knew it over? Were you still able to have a normal high school life?
I mean, I think I owe a lot of my I guess, grounding to my mom. You know, she's definitely like a, you know, just a good 2 feet on the ground person that kind of kept me, you know, not with my head in the clouds, like would kind of just pull me down to reality in a good way, not in like a bad way, but just she was always supportive. And in that regard, I always looked at that as a trade-off. If I missed out on something that all my friends got to do, it was because I had an opportunity to do something else. So it was always just like a seesaw. And I just kind of appreciated like, oh, I missed that, but I gained this. I'm just a perpetual optimist.
Yeah.
So
well, it was her glove after all, you know.
That's right. Thomas Ian Nicholas, actor, filmmaker.
My real
singer.
mom, not Amy Morton in the
not the
movie.
soft-
Amy.
okay.
I know you
Okay.
like the name Amy, but no, I'm
Mom?
it was you.
We
lost Amy again.
No, dude, it
Listen,
happens
I went
4 or
into
5 times a day.
Blockbuster Video and got the
Blockbuster?
puffy VHS. You know, that's how you know it was the new movie, the puffy VHS covers, and rented Rookie of the Year. And because it was new, I was 9 years old. You had to return it within 24 hours, and we'd get it, and then we'd re-rent it. It was all the rage.
Why didn't you just buy it?
We
Buy a
weren't
VHS?
made of money back then.
The VHS, if you wanted to buy it, it was like $99. Remember, they were pushing us towards rental.
That's right.
And in fact, we were like one of the last standing like rental VHS because we were right at that cusp, at that turning point.
That is about that time.
Yeah.
So tonight at the theater in the Lincoln Theater in Belleville, Illinois, tickets for the Q&A and the Rookie of the Year screening are madhattershows.com. So madhattershows.com. You can see Thomas Ian Nicholas and go see his band too. The Thomas Ian Nicholas Band when they come through St. Louis.
If you want to find me online, just search Thomas Nicholas Band, or I'm at Tin Band, TIN Band, on all my socials or website. You can hear my my parody version of Bowling for Soup. I wrote a parody of 1985 with Jarrett, recorded it with Bowling for Soup. It's called 1999, and we basically sing the entire storyline of American Pie.
Thomas, it's great to see you, man. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thomas Ian Nicholas with us. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Hear my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening in Redbirds Camp with the Cardinal Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Do you ever wonder if you've saved enough to retire? Well, you can discover how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these classes at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing your Social Security income, paying for health care, everything. And there's no cost. It's free. They ask that you bring 3 canned goods for a St. Louis crisis nursery. There are a handful of openings for classes this month and next. So register by calling 314-947-2012. 314-947-2012. It's the Sue Thomas number.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Wheeler. Struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain? Game Day Men's Health has you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more, all in a relaxed environment that's like being in the man cave. At Game Day, you get a free testosterone test and consultation all in just an hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with 3 area locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
I'm Roger Brand, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX. Thomas was great. It was good to have him in here.
That was fun. Yeah.
I am glad that I did not tell him I have not seen Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. No, man. What are you talking
because I have not.
It's a great movie. The greatest sports movie ever made.
Should I feel bad that I haven't seen it?
Mhm.
It was one of those things where I'm like, I'll watch it. I never did. But American Pie, seen it a ton.
That's the second thing you should feel bad about.
What is the first one?
I forgot. Remember we were saying you were a bad person. It was reflective of your character.
Okay. This text message here says, just to be clear, James, who left you a voice message earlier, was completely wrong with his odds of.
They were
I knew it.
specific.
I knew it. The odds of rolling a 7 in dice. He says it's 6 out of 36 to roll a 7, not 5 out of 36.
Well, 6 out of 36 is 1 in 6.
1 in 5, 2 and 4, 3 and 3, 3 and 3, the other way around, 4 and 2, 5 and 1. James should not call in with so much confidence when he is dead wrong.
So he just made that up?
Made it up.
I don't know. And why would you say 6 and 36 and not 1 and 6?
I don't know, man.
You got to reduce those fractions, man.
That's right. I knew I was right.
Did you? You didn't know you were right, Runch. You Googled it.
I did.
While
and I was
we were on air.
confident. I was confident in the Google.
Yeah. So you were saying you were confident that Google was right.
No.
Well, I was wrong. I thought it'd be like 1 in 1,000 or 1,000,000.
To roll a 7?
It's how it feels.
If that's what it was.
None of us do it right now. Roll a 7 before we
If
go
that's
up there.
what it was, like the craps table wouldn't
Yeah.
be a thing in Vegas.
Do it right now.
All right. Right now?
Right now.
Roll a 7. It's a 8, 9.
Yeah. See, you have.
All right. One more before we go. All right. Tomorrow. And it's an 11. 11, I think, is good.
That's
Yeah.
a difficult one to roll.
Yeah. So tomorrow, maybe we'll continue. If you have anything you want us to help you decide, we can do it with a roll of a dice.
I think we
Just
should.
like the sheriff in St. Louis, allegedly. That's how he decides if he gets to work there or not. Allegedly.
They're golden.
Allegedly.
Golden dice.
Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, you should download it. The podcast will be there. We are going to come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We'll have Hancock and Kelly starting the show with us. Next, it is the Dave Glover Show with Amy and I hanging out here on KMOX. Do you know what pinnacle means, you condescending butthole?
Hi, it's Margaret from Aim and Gam.